Weaning. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Song Radio Show, Wednesday edition. My name is Leon Jones. Hope everybody enjoyed their day. I just got in from work not too long ago, so I'm a little exhausted. But before I go on, shout out to Reg the Bad Guy. Shout out to Theo. Uh, Shout out to Men's Daily. Get over there and subscribe to his channel. And shout out to the Prophet of Thought. Hopefully, he comes up on the panel tonight. Now, tonight, we'll talk about some interesting topics. I'm going to see if I can share my screens here. And the main topic I want to talk about tonight starts with these energy drinks. But let me make one thing clear. This video is not going to be about KS. I already know what happened. If you want to see more on him, there are other channels out there. Now, I'm just going to say this. It might be a little harsh. People pass every day. There are people who pass from unfortunate reasons. You look at all the children who are killed by violence. Look at individuals who aren't celebrities. They passed, but no one ever mentions them because they weren't known. But it does not mean that their lives weren't important. Now, again, the reason why I won't do KS is because there are a number of other people who are still doing it. And I don't really have all the facts of what's going on, but one thing I can say is when it comes to these energy drinks, are they good for you? I mean, I've had energy drinks before. I've had 5 Hour. Now, me drinking 5 Hour, yeah, it gave me a shot. But one thing I could tell you, later on, I felt tired. Now, I don't know if it was the caffeine or the sugar, but I know caffeine and sugar can be a depressant. Now, I'm going to show you an energy drink. Now, it's not mine. Everybody's heard of this one, Red Bull. Okay? Now, I'm not going to drink it, but I just got it out the refrigerator just to give you an example of what one looks like. Hey, Celine, good evening. Now, one thing that we need to know about any type of drink, whether it's alcohol, whether it's soda, we need to know what's in it. Now, the camera's probably backwards if you can see it. You can already see the calories. Now, this is just one 8.5-ounce bottle, actually can, and it's dripping a little bit due to the condensation on the outside of the can. Now, there's one item, if I could bring it in here, that you need to see. And this is just me. If I could bring it in close, I don't know if you can see it. You may see a line, total sugars, under total carbohydrates. Now, 27 grams, that's a lot of sugar. Now, you see the protein, you see the sodium. Now, if you don't know what sodium is, that's how much salt. Now, this Red Bull has roughly 105 milligrams of salt. Now, if you look at the total sugars, as I am showing you the label, everybody should check the label out. The total sugar is 27 grams. Now, there's also another line that says added sugar. That's also 27 grams. And then you see, if I can focus it in, that looks like 54%. Now, as we know, carbohydrates, they're good carbohydrates and they're bad carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates are found in just about everything we eat. But if you eat a lot of bread, a lot of pasta, a lot of potatoes, you're going to find a lot of carbs. Even though a potato is a vegetable, too many carbohydrates can be bad for you. Now, again, when it comes to an energy drink, something that we definitely need to do is when we go and buy these, and if you see my thumbnail, they're more than this Red Bull, but I just decided to give you a real example. Now, there's taurine, Taurine, and there's other items that are put in these energy drinks like caffeine. Now, tea has a little bit more tea has a little bit more caffeine than coffee. Now, there are Cokes out there that have caffeine as well. Now, why am I bringing up these energy drinks? Because if your body is not ready to take these energy drinks, they can speed your heart out. Now, I work in construction, and I see a number of guys I work with, they're going into the store buying cases of Monster and Bang and these other energy drinks like Rockstar. The problem is they're thinking that they're going to get a shot right there. They may get a shot temporarily, but they're going to be depressed later on. Now, when you're taking an energy drink along with hot sun, and right now here in the state of Indiana, it's still at 7:08 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, it's 89 degrees here. So you're out in that hot sun, you got an energy drink, that sun's beating you down. And I know just coming in from the hot sun, I'm tired. But I'm still able to do this live stream. Now, I have a poll question up and 2 people have answered it already. Are energy drinks bad for you? Now, before I go on, this panel, I like to have a panel up. The topic might be a little bit boring. I can understand that. You don't like tonight's content. You want the entertainment. This isn't for you. But if you want to learn something, stay right here. Because I'm going to give you a point of view on energy drinks and, of course, adults and health. Now, I'm going to see if I can share my screen. It's much easier if I had 2 monitors, but I don't have 2 monitors. But I do have the information that I am going to share with you. Now, as I go up, and this is from U.S. Health News. It's a pretty good source. Now, when it comes to these energy drinks, are they really bad for you. Now, they are popular, very popular, but since the early 2000s, energy drinks have rocketed in popularity. Now, of course, this is an article that came out December 9th, but it's still relevant of 2021. Now, it says by 2020, sales of energy drinks and shots such as Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, and 5 Hour Energy had reached 57.4 billion according to investing website Investopedia. Now, the industry is expected to grow another 7% between 2020 and 2025. Now, again, with these energy drinks, as I shift down here, it's easy to see why, from working moms to doctors on a night shift, Americans' supply of good old fashioned energy seems to be wearing thin, but concerns about the drinks, which have been linked to heart and neurological problems, as well as poor mental health and substance use amongst teens, are also running rampant. So, emergency room visits, hospitalizations, and deaths have all been attributed to the drinks. But the question is, why are these energy drinks? What are these energy drinks? And are they really that bad? Now, first, we need to find out what's in them. Because when it comes to energy drinks, they're basically ready to drink products that are marketed to increase energy and fight fatigue. But that doesn't mean anything. I need to know what's in them. Because it is very big to find out what's in them to me. Now, I've given you the definition. So, what's actually in these energy drinks? I want to take you to that right now. Okay. Any drink that contains a stimulant, which there are stimulants and there are depressants. Now, a stimulant is one that's supposed to give you that energy, where a depressant is going to make you sleepy. Now, again, any drink that contains a stimulant compound can be considered an energy drink, says Dr. Larry Nolan, who is a primary care sports medicine physician at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center in Columbus. Now, again, when it comes to energy drinks, there are a number of brands on the market, and each varies in the ingredients they contain, but most have some combination of carbonated water, sugar, or other sweeteners, including glucose, which is a type of rapidly absorbed sugar, caffeine, B vitamins, and of course, their flavorings and colors that are also added, and supplements associated with energy. Now, these are the big ones: taurine, ginseng, guarana, and glucuronidone. Or glue, just bear with me as I pronounce this word. Glucuronidone, yahimbi, carnitine, or bitter orange. Hey, Jenny V, welcome to the chat. Hey, brother Guy King. Yes, he is right. The first popular sports drink, Brother King, you are hardcore. That is true. Gatorade is a placebo. Dumbass people don't read the labels. Absolutely. And Brother King, you're right. I, I got a sample right here. This is Red Bull. And I guarantee when people buy this Red Bull, they don't read the labels. They think they're getting something. What they're getting an illusion or a temporary fix. But in the end, these energy drinks, you can die from them. You can. Hey, what's going on, Brother Cortez? Let me move on because this is important information. Now, here's the question, and Brother Guy King already brought it up. When it comes to these energy drinks, are they safe? Well, because I've even heard where some people have taken these energy drinks with medicines. That's crazy as hell as well. Because you already have enough medicines out here that give you side effects. Now, taken together, I just read the ingredients just a few minutes ago. So when you utilize these ingredients together, they add up to a daily fix for some people who aren't getting enough sleep or otherwise need a daily jolt to keep up with modern life. But there's also a darker side to these beverages, particularly with kids and adolescents who are more susceptible to the effects of certain stimulating compounds in the beverages. Now, Rose says that in her opinion, energy drink products aren't safe, but adds this is based on context. If someone has one of these drinks on a very rare occasion, that singular act will likely not do too much, if any damage, but over time, there are lots of potential complications. So, here are a few reasons to be cautious when downing some of these drinks. And shout out to Brother King. He mentioned it before. Reading label. No, Kool-Aid doesn't count. Kool-Aid is not an energy drink. I know. Gatorade is likely unsweetened or less sweetened Kool-Aid. Facts. Now, there's a lot of fructose, and anything with COSC is sugar. It's a lot of fructose. Absolutely. Powerade. It's just as bad. And Jenny V says, we have a deal with local schools not to sell them to children in uniform. We try to dissuade them from having them, but it's not our job to babysit people's children. That's right. It's mom and daddy's job to babysit their children. Brother Nate, welcome to the chat. Now, moving on. When it comes to these drinks, you got to be very careful. And this is just, it's not an opinion of mine. You should be careful with anything, but I'm just making you aware. Now, I just gave you labeling confusion. Caffeine concerns, that's another reason for you to be cautious about drinking these energy drinks. Sugar content and how they're used. Now, I want to go over the label confusion because, again, most of us really don't know what we're eating when we're buying processed drinks and processed food. So one of the major critiques of energy drinks is that they are all not well regulated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So this means that energy drink companies can market their products as dietary supplements and forego a nutrition facts label. Also, it will leave customers to wonder what they see is what they get. Now, this says Ruth Litchfield, an associate professor in the Department of Food Science and Human Nutrition at Iowa State University at Ames. So when a product has a supplement facts label, it hasn't gone through the FDA. Again, when a product has a supplements facts label, it has not gone through the FDA approval process to be on the market as a food item, she says. Whereas a nutrition facts panel goes through the FDA process, approving safety and efficacy before it goes on the market as a food product. Now, that is true. There are a number of drinks out there and even vitamins out there that they're called diet supplements. Now, again, one of the big issues with energy drinks are caffeine concerns, caffeine addiction, and its relation to cardiac issues. For some people, it's a concern. While experts believe it is safe for most healthy adults to consume up to 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. And that's about an equivalent to 4 8-ounce cups of coffee or 10 cans of cola. Downing multiple energy drinks could quickly put someone over that limit, increasing their risk for headaches as well as boosting blood pressure and heart rate. Now, a 2019 study in the Journal of American Heart Association confirmed that consumption of these drinks altered heart rate and blood pressure. So the caffeine content of energy drinks can range from 80 milligrams in an 8-ounce Red Bull to 300. Now, the Red Bull that I have shown tonight is an 8-ounce can. Moving on. That's right, Jenny V. Everything in life is all about moderation. Brother Guy King, the best sports drink and energy drinks are H2O and unsweetened coconut water. Facts. Facts. Now, again, I'll repeat this again. The caffeine content in an energy drink can range from 80 milligrams to 300 milligrams and 16 ounces of the no-calorie energy drink Bang, according to the nonprofit consumer advocacy organization Center for Science in the Public Interest. But for some drinks, their advertised caffeine counts could be underestimated since they may not take into account caffeine. And here's one that I said earlier, ingredients like guarana. Most energy drinks contain between 80 and 120 milligrams of caffeine per serving, but many people drink more than one per day and may have one in addition to several cups of coffee, Rowe points out. Now, determining how much caffeine is too much is an individual calculation, Rowe adds. She says, I work with people who are extremely caffeine sensitive and get jittery only after a small cup of green tea, she explains. Now, some of the people don't realize they're sensitive because they're used to the side effects. But once they ditch caffeine, they suddenly realize that they actually were consuming too much for their own unique body, even though it may have been less than 400 milligrams. Now, again, when we deal with the caffeine, and bear with me, I do not have two monitors, so I am working with one monitor. Hey, thanks, Brother Men's Daily, and go to his channel and subscribe. And Brother Guy King says, I am a sugar addict or I am sugar addicted, but at least I don't do white sugar. White sugar is refined sugar, whereas you have brown sugar, it's also refined, but molasses is added to it. Now, the best sugar is raw cane sugar. As I move on, let's talk about the caffeine consumption, because here's the big thing. Now, when you overconsume caffeine, here's what can happen. You're going to get an increased heart rate, Your blood pressure will be elevated. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to have tremors. You're going to have jitters. You're also going to have headaches. You're going to be irritable. You're going to be dehydrated. That means you're going to be dried out. So you're going to have to put more liquid in your system. And you're going to have nausea or digestive issues. Now, Nolan adds that while generally speaking, 400 milligrams of caffeine can be tolerated by most healthy adults, some people need to consume far less, including children and young adults, pregnant or breastfeeding people, people with high blood pressure, or other cardiovascular conditions. Now, when I'm talking about anything that mentions cardio, I'm talking about the heart. And also, people with diabetes need to beware as well, because you can go blind with diabetes. Diabetes is when you have a lot of sugar. Jenny V says, I never had an energy drink, but I do drink tea. Tea does have more caffeine than coffee, but it is not an energy drink. Herbal tea is good. And something else you guys got to realize too. You see a lot of no sugar drinks out there. They put a lot of aspartame in there. Remember that too. It's to make it taste sweet. Now, something important with these energy drinks, as I'm breaking down the article as I go along, sugar content. Now, in addition, these drinks also usually contain large amounts of sugar, often as much or more than a can of soda. Now, the neurological and metabolic effects of excessive liquid sugar. Again, let me read that again. The neurological and metabolic effects of excessive liquid sugar and artificial sweeteners is my main concern with these products, Rose says. Now, high customer demand for lower carb or sugar-free alternatives has led many of the most popular brands to carry low or no sugar versions of these drinks as well. She notes, to make them sweet, the manufacturers use a variety of artificial sweeteners, including ace sulfame K or ace sulfame potassium, aspartame, and sucralose. Now, sucralose is also sugar, by the way. Anything with OSE is sugar. Now, using artificial sweeteners certainly removes calories, but it may not improve the overall health profile of the beverage because all of these compounds have been correlated with neurological side effects and insulin resistance, Rose says. Now, again, aspartame is toxic and poisonous. That is correct, Brother Nate. It is. Jenny says, I am an overactive person anyway. I'm always on the go. I don't drink them because I don't need the extra stimulant. Well, energy drinks aren't just stimulants, they're also depressants because of the sugar content in these energy drinks. Brother Cortez said, I heard honey van can be a decent sugar replacement if it is not refined honey. If you get the honey with the beehive in it or the bee's nest in it, that's the best honey. But a lot of your honey that you see in stores is also refined honey, which there's a lot of sugar in that honey. Now, what you can use is Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I use it every day. Yes, vegetarians won't use it because it is an animal product. Now, taurine is an animal product. That's what they also put in these energy drinks. Moving on. As I stated before, there's a lot of sugar in these drinks. Now, here's how they're used. there's a major concern regarding how people are drinking these products, Rose says. For example, if you're mixing them with alcohol, you might want to rethink that. And that's research compiled by the CDC and prevention suggests that caffeine can mask some of the alcohol's effects and raise drinkers' chances of binge drinking. Now, a study in the journal Alcoholism, Clinical and Experimental Research found that participants who drank a cocktail with Red Bull and vodka had a greater urge to keep drinking than those whose drinks included a soda, water based fruit drink instead of Red Bull. Now, again, alcohol also comes from sugar. It's a depressant. But when combined with caffeine or other stimulants, you may not feel as intoxicated as you actually are. That can bring about a whole host of other issues, such as encouraging binge drinking, drunk driving, unwanted or unprotected sex, or alcohol related accidents or injuries. Now, the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health reports that about 25% of the college students, when they consume alcohol, it's basically with energy drinks, leading to significantly more binge drinking than is found among students who don't mix them. So, in addition, Rose says that if you're replacing meals with these drinks, that can also lead to trouble. And at the other end of the spectrum, if you're consuming energy drinks alongside a diet, here's what's going to happen as well. That is heavy in processed foods. Again, you have a lot of processed foods out here. So red wine and Red Bull. That's fact. Red wine and Red Bull, that's still not good because you're still mixing alcohol with Red Bull. Yes, it is a very, because you can get diabetes from this as well because of the sugar content. It's at every store. Shout out to Brother Clue. Welcome to the building. But again, let me move on and continue. Well, in addition, again, when we deal with these drinks, some people are consuming these drinks alongside a diet that's heavy in the processed foods. That's also problematic. So when you combine all these factors, the effects of these drinks, they will set you up for potential health concerns. So the bottom line is that with any food, you drink an energy drink, wine, moderation is the key. Basically, asking if energy drinks are safe is like asking if donuts or soda or deep fried Twinkies are safe. So if you have one, you'll be okay. But anything more than that, perhaps a couple of times per year, poses health risks. Now, Nolan adds that while moderate consumption in otherwise healthy adults is likely okay. Now, unfortunately, the majority of consumption of energy drinks takes place in a younger population. In fact, the NCCIH reports that drinks that claim to increase energy and enhance mental alertness and, of course, physical performance are the most popular dietary supplements after multivitamins consumed by American teens and young adults. Again, you have to do everything in moderation. Now, I'm just going to say this. Just like smoking can be addictive. Now, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that teens and adolescents avoid these beverages as kids' brains are more susceptible to the effects of caffeine. Caffeine can also interfere with bone growth and development, and at excessive levels, it can be toxic for kids and young adults. So when it comes to kicking the habit, well, it's very easy to fall into a pattern for an energy drink whenever you feel fatigued or sluggish. Now, the habitual act can lead to much higher consumption of these products that you might mean to, or then is considerably healthy. So, if you develop an energy drink habit, Nolan recommends talking with your primary care provider to establish safe amounts and strategies to help find healthy alternatives. For example, substituting an 8-ounce cup of black tea, which is about 47 milligrams of caffeine, can lower your caffeine consumption in short order. Plus, if you don't doctor it with sugar, that will also eliminate a source of excess calories from your diet. So, getting off caffeine isn't always easy, though. Withdrawal from caffeine can lead to headaches, increased fatigue, drowsiness, and difficulty concentrating. Now, again, that's right. Too much sugar during pregnancy is not just dangerous to the mother's health, like pregnancy diabetes, but can lead to larger babies. Wow, that's one I never heard of. Do you all have a sugar tax in the United States? I don't believe so. And good evening, Latine. Welcome to the chat. Again, if you're just joining, right now I am talking about energy drinks, how bad they are. And I got the information off of course, health, U.S. Health News. If you want to know more about this article, what I'm going to do, I am going to post this in the chat. Here is the link to the article. Now, I have a poll question up. I have 15 votes already. Are energy drinks good for you? Well, right now, when it comes to yes, 0, no, 100% say they're not good for you. But moving on. Just bear with me. And I'm going to jump into something else in a minute. All right. Okay. Rowe notes that weaning yourself off of energy drinks slowly often works better than going cold turkey. She says, I recommend a slow weaning off to prevent headaches or jitters. Look at how many drinks you're having now, and then you can cut back slowly. For example, if you're currently consuming 2 drinks per day, lower that to 1 per day for a while. After a week or two, see if you can skip a day in between those days that you don't have a drink. You could also try switching over to coffee as a replacement to wean off the energy drink itself. Rowe adds, if you're looking to scale back on the consumption of caffeine, Nolan offers some additional advice. Shout out to Brother Guy King for pointing this out, because I've also pointed it out myself. Read labels carefully and do your research. Again, read labels carefully and do your research. Know what you're consuming and keep tabs on how much caffeine, sugar, and other stimulants you may be ingesting. Also, remember, it's not just energy drinks that can be problematic. Keep in mind, other sources of caffeine or other stimulants, such as chocolate or other salt drinks and sodas, they can also be problematic because they have caffeine in it. Coca-Cola has caffeine in it. And it's not just about the caffeine. Remember that as well. The added effects of the other ingredients are important as well. And I'm talking about the trifecta or the 3-headed monster known as sugar, taurine, and guarana. And also, talk to your doctor. Let him know that you're wanting an energy drink or you have to become dependent on caffeine. Again, caffeine is an addiction. Any drink that is not diet or zero sugar is taxed. You pay more for these. It's the government's way of tackling energy drinks. Now, Jenny, you did ask me about a sugar tax. I know New York is a red is not a red state, it's a blue state. I believe they had at one time a soda tax. Latin says eat fruit or make your own juice in the blender with some ice cream. I use a Vitamax blender. That's one of the best blenders out there. Very expensive blender, but it is a good blender. Again, talk to your doctor. So I'm going to talk about fatigue because it's getting there summertime and some individuals are out of shape and they're not getting a lot of sleep. So when we look at the causes of fatigue, the best ways to solve this are better sleep and stress management along with healthier eating, Rose says. So when you eat during times when someone may be excessively tired, like during finals or after a night shift, bonus energy could be obtained with a cup of coffee or a small cup of orange juice with some protein with other options available. But I don't recommend energy drinks at all, or only if there's a rare occasion. Now, again, I'm just giving you what the article says. I have looked it up for you, done the work. Take a look at the information that I put in the chat. Now, again, I have an example of an energy drink right here. It's not open, of course, but on the back, I showed it earlier. This is an 8-ounce can of Red Bull. Now, I will, if you can see it, I will expand the window. Here's what's on the back. If you can see it, if you can't, just let me know. But those are all the ingredients. You need to make sure that when you buy one of these, you read the labels. When it comes to any type of, I'm going to say, drink that is going to make people feel better or make people do less exercise, they're going to make a lot of money. Now, again, the energy business brings in about $57.4 billion. Now, that's 57 with 9 zeros at the end. So people like me who are broadcasting this, we might put a hurting, if there are many of us doing the same types of broadcasts, put a hurting on that $57 billion. And of course, they're going to try to spin it by telling me I'm wrong. Now, Brother Clue says we should all be boycotting Red Bull for that obvious reason. Well, that's also facts. We should. It's a lot of money. And sometimes people take these drinks with alcohol, they take them with other medicines. And if you don't know what you're doing, you could end up with some heart problems. And this is a small can. I've seen larger cans than this. Like I said earlier, I work in the field of construction. And there are a number of guys I work with, they are drinking these energy drinks like it is soda. and some of them are younger guys. The problem is they don't know the effects. They think they're getting something. But in essence, they may not see it now, but they're going to have health problems in the future. And when you get my age, 57, you really need to be cognizant of your health. You need to go get yourself checked out. You need to get your A1C checked out. I have to go in August. And now you need to understand the numbers too. Okay. And you need to really watch out for the sugar intake. Now, some doctors say they want you to have an A1C under 7, some say under 6. Now, if you're not familiar with an A1C, basically they take 3 consecutive months and they average them together and they come out with a certain number that you have to meet to see if you are on track of getting diabetes. So they might basically, if your numbers are too high, they're going to prescribe you with something called metformin. And when it comes to blood pressure, lutrinipril. Now, I would say this. You need to get yourself checked out every year. Again, Jenny, you're right. People have to take responsibility for their own actions. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That is a fact. Shout out to Brother Brian Davis. He says fruits, vegetables, water may be more vibrant in the later years than 20s. He's seen it happen. Brother Clue says, remember the drink surge. Somebody spread a rumor that it shrinks your Johnson, and that killed the entire business. Maybe the same should be done for energy drinks. Yes, that's a rumor. But I will say this too, as a guy, when you get a little older, you need to watch yourself as well because there are a number of guys out here that have low T. And I'm going to say this and it's going to sound crazy, but if you look down from your stomach and if you can't see the head of your penis, your stomach is too big. And if you can't get it up, you may have low T. Now, people always talk about Viagra. Again, Viagra is another drug that you can get side effects. The best thing I'm going to tell you all is this. Do 30 minutes of exercise a day. You do not have to go all out when you start. Now, what I do, because I don't own a treadmill right now, run in place for 30 minutes to an hour, work up a sweat. Do some brisk walking. Brisk walking is very good. Drink enough water. Now, here in Indiana, the weather is funny here. It was hot, hazy, and humid, and I work in the construction field. So I park my car and I walk the site every day. I walk the site. Number one, I don't want to burn up a bunch of gas because gas is expensive. But number two, I am getting the exercise that I need. And number two, if you're in a building, let's say you're in a 2 or 3 story building, don't take the elevator. Take the steps. Drink lots of water and stretch. And that moves me to the next topic. Are people healthier today or are they worse today? That's true. That's true. You can lose a few ounces with the wife. That's true. I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, here in America, a lot of us do some binge eating, and that includes me. Because every once in a while, these are spearmint leaves. They have sugar in them. They're tasty. In fact, a lot of foods that we eat today have sugar in them. You look at ranch dressing, and I love ranch dressing. I guarantee that has sugar in it. Now, when we deal with carbohydrates, there are good carbohydrates and there are bad carbohydrates. They're spearmint leaves. They're they're like gel leaves. Like, I don't know if you have them over there in England, Jenny, but they have a lot of sugar in them, and they're like jelly. They're not jelly, but they're like jelly. My late grandfather and his brothers moved way better in their late 50s, early 60s than folk in their 20s today. Well, I'm going to say this, and that is true, Brother Davis. Number one, you had intact families. And what I mean by intact families, families set together. The mom knew how to cook. Today, a number of individuals don't know how to cook. So there's a lot of eating out. And when people eat out, there are more calories when you eat out. And I'm going to tell you another thing that individuals do when they finish eating. They sit down. You shouldn't do that. And you shouldn't eat before you go to bed. You need to give your food a chance to digest. Now, me, I've made that mistake my fair share of times. I've jogged it off. But when you exercise, you also need to have a balanced diet. Brian Davis said they ate off the land. They did eat off the land. Traditional families cooked at home. Shout out to Men's Daily. He's correct. Well, you don't have a lot of families out there. And even though you might have two-parent households today, both parents are busy working. And I know to buy health food, it could be expensive. Now, every neighborhood does not have a Whole Foods market. I understand that. However, you don't need a Whole Foods market. You can get everything you need at a Walmart, a Meijer. These are the grocery stores here, a Kroger. But you have to be willing to take the time to slice and dice everything and then cook it. People in their 20s don't work at getting healthier. They buy the body they want. They fill their bodies with so much foreign bodies, it's toxic, especially women. That's a fact. And here's what I'm going to say too. If you have children and they don't know how to cook, you didn't do your job as a parent. When you cook something, you actually control what you put in your food. And again, I know we like to cook for the taste, but if you're one who doesn't exercise every day, don't pile up the calories. Now, if you're one who exercises, you can burn off the calories. And what has happened today is because a number of individuals have gotten lazy, their metabolism slows down. And when your metabolism slows down, that's when you have a lot of weight gain. That's when you feel lethargic or lazy. That's when your mind isn't working correctly. Some of us aren't getting enough sleep. We have too many people on social media, TV. But in the end, when it comes to our bodies, we only get one. Now, again, I'm not saying you can't have one energy drink, but if you do have a Red Bull, mix it with water. I have actually heard that some people, and on college campuses, I know the women do this, they mix alcohol with Red Bull. I've actually heard that. That is not good. Put less on your plate, a better body to date. That's a good rhyme. That's true. Eat in moderation, but also you have to do some type of exercise. And let me share something else with you too. When you eat right, because this is what I've done in my household, I've basically lowered the salt, lowered the sugar. Yeah, every once in a while, I might eat some chips, but I eat a lot of nuts. Yeah, I eat some sweet candies, but it's not a habit. Moderation is key to everything. And just because something says fat free, read the label. A lot of us don't read the label. And when we don't read the label, this is where we become confused. And if you don't understand anything about the labels, this is when you should speak to a dietitian, a doctor, somebody who has an understanding of what's on that label. And again, if they're putting certain types of labels and labeling anything, because you have a lot of people that will say this is a dietary supplement. Now, something I used to take, and I was getting jitters from it, I don't take it anymore, is that hydroxycut. They had the big tablets, and I got headaches from hydroxycut, which I'm going to do a video on that as well. Hydroxycut, they have force factor. It's supposed to give you all this energy. Don't depend on that. See, the energy is coming from the caffeine. Basically, you have to keep your own energy up. Some drinks will say sugar free, but will have sugar supplements added. That's a fact as well. Again, if you see anything that says added sugar and it says no sugar, well, that just defeated the purpose. They added sugar. And I did a video on this a long time ago, and I'll say it again. Anything like fructose or sucrose, that's all sugar. And at the end of the day, I'm just giving you my humble opinion about how we should conduct business. Again, my poll, are energy drinks good for you? 18 votes, 100% say no. If you want the article I just presented, the link is in the chat. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop the link. If anybody is interested in coming up on the panel to talk about this topic, because it's very important. I got some other topics to talk about as well. Again, I'm talking about energy drinks. I'm also going to go into some of these moms out here killing their children as well. And this is information that sweet chocolate Tommy Jean found for me. And I've been wanting to do this. Hey, thank you very much, Brother Davis. So the link is out, but before I go on, let me drop something else too. Because this is, and I didn't get this. Tommy Jean found this for me. And I told her I was going to do some of this hot content I didn't want to do because it was very scary. But the content that she provided me, and this one is about, and I'm going to share my screen again. And, oh, I got lots of content. Probably these individuals were on, look at these individuals. Now, these are not black women, by the way. So everybody who thinks it's black women who commit all these crimes, these are not black women. This is a news clip from the state of Virginia. Virginia daycare workers arrested for drugging children. Let's get into this because I've read it and I'm going to go ahead and read it. This is very short, but it's important. It says the Stewart County Sheriff's Office, after a lengthy investigation, charged 4 individuals, including the owner of Mimi's Daycare on Preachers Lane, Thursday, May 5th. This is when it happened. And this was a press release from the sheriff. They had an investigation that involved 26 children over a 2-year period from the ages 6 years old to infants being involved. And the individuals that got arrested are Jamie Clark, Kristen Clark, Jordan Darnell, and Ethan Pulley. Now, hey, what's going on there, Awesome Alice? I've always said that when you put your kids in daycare, you don't know what's happened to your kids. And what I see with any type of daycare, too many parents are letting the daycare parent their children. Well, again, looking at this article again, and looking at these people, I mean, they are hideous people. Let me show you what these people look like. And it's not just black people. These are the ones that got arrested for drugging their children. And these are young people. These are individuals who should not be allowed to be around children. But these are the individuals that got arrested for drugging children in a daycare. And daycares are very expensive. So all you mommies out there who are taking your children to daycare and you're spending hundreds of dollars, if not more, you need to get an idea of what your children are going through in daycare. Daycare is not a good place to put your children. Now, let me bring something else up. You don't think these, and this happened in Pennsylvania. Let me get it up. This is very, very sick, but I have to get it up anyway. I used to live in Pennsylvania, and this right here was from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Hey, you're talking about sick? The Bucks County woman who had her sons killed planned the shooting. Planned the shooting. Shout out to you, Alice. I don't trust daycare. One lady chopped up a baby and put it in a bag. It was a baby. Hmm. Jenny says, I never used daycare. My children are my responsibility. It was my job to raise them. Brother Nate, my daughter got a tooth knocked out by a swing in daycare. Shout out. Man, that's horrible. Now, I'm going to read some more of that article in a minute. Men's Daily. A majority of single mommies are letting daycare be the parents while they prioritize working careers while keeping the father out of the picture. I've seen it too many times. Wow. So let me move on to this next topic here. And by the way, these aren't black people. All right. Now, I am very familiar with Bucks County, Pennsylvania is. Now, this happened this week. And thank you, Tommy Jane Sweet Chocolate, for sending me this one. And I'm going to be doing some more. She gets a lot of information, and I'm going to be doing more. So you're going to have to stomach this. So, a Bucks County woman who police say shot her two sons in the head as they slept was charged with first-degree murder on Monday. Shout out to Teapot. It's these mommies. Trin Nyugan, 38, had planned the deaths of her sons, Jeffrey and Nelson Teeny, 13 and 9, at least a week in advance. Authorities said, writing an updated will that included instructions on what to do with their ashes. Now, after the shooting, Nyugan drove to New Jersey to buy heroin, then headed to the parking lot of a church near the Upper Makefield home. Prosecutors said Monday. There, they said she took the drug and hastily scrawled a note saying, please call 911. My children are dead in the bed, and giving her address according to the affidavit of probable cause for her arrest. The boys died at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia on Friday, 4 days after the May 2nd shooting, in their bedrooms at the family Bucks County home. So they died at the family's Bucks County home. Now, I lived in Pennsylvania for 10 years. Now, there are some good areas of Bucks County, and this was a good area. Now, I am actually showing you this because I know we get most of this information where you see the ABW. Well, I've just showed you some information where it wasn't the ABW. These are Asian people. So I'm going to be, and I'm not counteracting what anybody says about the ABW, but I'm just saying that they're bad people in every races. Correction, every race. So at the end of the day, you have two children who are dead. Now, as I move on, Nyugan was initially charged with attempted murder. So this woman shot both of her kids and was charged with attempted murder. Now, if it were a man who planned this murder and shot his two kids, he would be going to jail for a lifetime for first-degree murder. So this is the difference between men and women talk about equality. There's no equality for the same heinous crime that a man would commit. Now, again, Nyugan was initially charged with attempted murder. Her sons were kept on life support until they could donate their organs through the Gift of Life program. Now, at an arraignment in district court Monday, Nyugan said little as the charges against her were upgraded to murder. So they were upgraded to murder. She had not yet hired an attorney according to records, court records. Now, in a statement, Bucks County District Attorney Matt Weintraub said, Nayugin's actions were unconscionable and horrific. I've been praying for these boys and their surviving family for days. I'm so sad to hear of their passing, he said. We will do what needs to be done. Now, she'll blame her hormones. Wow. Well, here's what I'm going to say. What happened to the father in this picture? Where was he? Were these parents divorced? I don't know. Now, as I continue on with this article, law enforcement officials have not released a motive for the shooting. So if enforcement officials did not release any type of statement, how do they know that this was planned? And so you have to be careful with what you read, because the Philadelphia Inquirer, let me tell you this, and I lived in PA, I went to school at Temple University, is a very liberal paper. Very liberal. So they're not going to give you everything that is truthful. You have a lot of op-ed reports. But again, law enforcement officials have not released a motive for the shooting, but court records show that the family faced mounting financial problems in the months leading up to the shooting. Nayugin and her sons were set to be evicted May 3rd from their half of the duplex they shared with the family of her ex-husband, according to court records. Nayugin owed more than $11,000 in unpaid rent to her former sister-in-law. Documents from eviction dispute show that Nayugin and Tini Melchiando had a rocky relationship, and her former sister-in-law and the landlord accused her of abusive and harassing behavior. Now, that's true, Alice. A lot of women plead temporary insanity, and she's going to do that as well. We know she's going to do that. Now, as we move on, Nayugin divorced Nelson's father, Ed Tini, last year, according to court records. Tini had unsuccessfully fought for the sole custody of the boys, saying in a court filing last year that he worried that Nayugin would be a classic parent kidnapper and flight risk. Again, the father fought for custody of his kids, and he didn't get custody of his kids. And he believed that his ex-wife was a kidnapper and a flight risk, and wouldn't return from a vacation to Vietnam with the boys last summer. Through her attorney, Nayugin said she was a responsible parent with roots in the community. So on the day of the shooting, Tiny Melchiando's son, Gianni, 22, heard gunfire, went to investigate, and found Nayugin on the front lawn holding a box of photos, according to Weintraub. So at the end of the day, this woman she's going to plead insanity. And fathers, and shout out to brother Nate. He's in the chat. He fought for his children and got him. Again, brother Nate fought for his children and got them. Now, Nayugin said, Melchiando, if you would take the photos to her ex-husband, who works with him, investigators said Melchiando agreed. And when he took the photos from Nayugin, authorities said she pulled out a Ruger 38 caliber revolver, aimed it at him, and pulled the trigger twice. The gun did not fire, and Melchiando was able to wrestle the gun away from Nayugin, who fled in her minivan, according to the affidavit of probable cause for her arrest. Shout out to Men's Daily. Always a red flag when the father is out of the picture unless he has passed away. That is facts. Now, I'm going to be dropping a link. I just dropped the link. Anybody wants to come and discuss some of this? I know Brother Nate, shout out to him. He's probably going to do something on politics and some of this as well. But while it's Wednesday night, let me continue with this live stream. Very, very sad when this happens. Now, inside the home, officers found the boys in their bedrooms, both shot in the head as they lay in their bed. So they're lying in the bed. You imagine that? Lying in their bed in a pool of blood. Weintraub said they were taken to St. Mary Medical Center in critical condition. Now, hours after the shooting, administrators at the Washington Crossing Methodist Church called Upper Makefield Police to report that Naugin's van was parked on church property. They recognized the vehicle from the social media post about the crime to police. Again, you think about this. After the shooting, they saw a van on a church property, and they recognized the vehicle from social media posts about the crime by police. Again, we're not looking at black folks. Hey, Alice, how are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Oh, I had to
You're
bring
right.
this up because
You're right about these articles. They don't give the whole picture, and it's like it's weird that they don't.
well, I lived in Pennsylvania. I can tell you right now, the Philadelphia Inquirer is a left wing paper. It is. And they're not going to give you everything. They left a lot out. Where's the father in this picture? And I put this up to show you that there are bad people in every race. I just showed you one picture of 4 individuals from a daycare in Virginia that were arrested for drugging children. Now, there's a lot of this going on, and people don't want to bring this out. Now, continuing with this article, police apprehended Naugen, who was rushed to the hospital because she had ingested heroin in an attempt to kill herself. According to prosecutors, Naugen had additional ammunition for the gun, which she had legally purchased with her in the van, authorities said. Jeffrey and Nelson were remembered as fun-loving kids in active sports at Council Rock schools. Last week, friends, neighbors, and classmates gathered at a vigil for the brothers. Many who knew the family described Naugen as a dedicated mother and said they were stunned by the charges against her. Well, this is what individuals don't know, that mother was not dedicated. See, we all see what's going on outside, but we don't know what's going on inside somebody's house. Now, you have children, Alice.
That's not. She shot all her kids.
Yes, she did. She
Why?
shot.
What was she dedicated to, killing them?
She wasn't a dedicated parent at all.
No, I mean, like, that's kind of like the way they worded that. They're talking about she was dedicated to her children. Like,
Yeah,
y'all just said she shot them. What was her true dedication?
that's a good question. That's a good
See,
question.
the way they word these articles, there's a lot of propaganda in them, and I think there's like these words. I think they're trying to get sympathy for her by saying she was dedicated to them. So that'll put in that plea, because like in my area, there was a chick that stabbed her kids in the bathroom.
Mm,
And she got she pled temporary insanity. She's still in the mental institution. But like people were like, "Oh, she had mental." I don't care if people had mental illness. People that she walked them babies 3 blocks. She called everybody to try to get the kids, and she took them into the bathroom, and she killed the littlest one in front of the oldest one. The gas station's still there. She did it at the gas station.
At the
Like
gas.
she had 3 blocks to think about that. 3 blocks.
And
They need to stop with these letting people get off on this mental. If they're that mental, they should never be put in society ever again. If they kill their kids, they should get the death penalty. I don't care what color they are.
that's true. Now, let me say something, Alice. What if it had been the other way around, a man? What if he had done
Oh, they
it?
would have gave him the death penalty.
Yeah, and you would have heard the feminists out here fry him, castrate him.
Oh yeah, you already
We would have
know.
heard that. We would have
You
heard
already
that all day long. And it would have been all over media on how bad men are. Men can't have kids or handle kids. We don't want men around kids. But a lot of what's going on with kids that I've seen, and I got some more to bring up. I got a heck of a lot more to bring up, and I'm gonna be doing some more of this, like I did it on energy drinks. Yes, angels don't fall. 100% energy drinks are bad. Yes, and
Yeah, you don't need to drink those. They're like, from what my friend was telling me, it causes like a heart fibrillation. Like it causes your heart to flutter, like a rhythm where it's like it's a rhythmic.
I
Like
got
it
one
puts stress on your what is it? It puts stress on. It makes you have high blood pressure. I mean, it does a lot of stuff. They don't put it on the actual can. You gotta be
right.
careful with those. As long as you're drinking some water
Absolutely.
after it, you gotta water it down. Make sure that you're drinking water if you do drink those. Don't drink too many. Don't be working. Cause I knew a guy that my brother worked for. It was a roofer. He drank those energy drinks and beer and took some goodies. Went to work the next day and he fell off the roof and died.
See that, and when I did the article, and I posted the article in the chat. But I have an example. Everybody knows what this is. Red Bull. I
Yeah,
said earlier, this is a small can, okay?
yeah,
But
and they got those. What is it? 32-ounce cans.
yeah, that's ridiculous. And even with this, it'll tell you. You got to read the label. It says 27 grams of sugar. Okay.
How
Now,
much caffeine's in it?
now caffeine. You know what? They don't really have it says caffeine in it, but they don't really tell you how much caffeine is in it.
Oh, that's dangerous. It should
Oh,
tell
wait
you
a
how
minute,
much
I got
it's
it right
in.
here. It's 80 milligrams of caffeine, which
Goodness.
which they go from 80 to 300 milligrams. Now, back in the day, they used to have cola, and it was strong Coca-Cola because I tried it out one time. It was called Jolt Cola, Jolt. I drank that, and it had a lot. I mean, you talking about caffeine? That had more caffeine in it than 4 or 5 cups of coffee. And these energy drinks they make big money.
What else is in there? I'm thinking it's more than just the sugar and the caffeine. I think it's some kind of chemical they're using in it
Well, they got an
that's
animal.
causing it.
They got taurine, which is some type of. It comes from an animal. They got guarano or garine. That's also added caffeine. Of course, they have sugar, glucose. Sugar and glucose, they're both. It's just
Together?
sugar. Yeah, together.
So that's
Citric.
like double the sugar.
Absolutely. They got taurine. They got sodium bicarbonate. Now, if you don't know what sodium bicarbonate is, I'll tell you. It's baking soda. So they put baking soda in it, color,
So,
caffeine.
so it's like so it like reacts in your stomach a certain way.
Right, right. And like I said, I've seen people drink these with alcohol when I was in college, and
Yeah,
I tr-
Jägermeister.
oh
Jägermeister.
yeah,
They're called
Jägermeister.
Jaeger bombs.
I right, I yeah, yes. Shout out to Clue. NaCl too. NaCl is sodium chloride, which is salt. Yes, right. Angels don't fall. Human flesh via aborted fetus from Planned Parenthood sales. Uh, well, I hope it doesn't have that in there.
Yeah, it's on the list.
And angels don't fall. A lot of energy drinks have Cinomix in them, HEK 329, aka Soylent. Cannibalism changes your brain chemistry and rots it, creating actual zombies. It's hoodoo witchcraft.
Angels don't fall is pretty smart.
Yeah. Angels Don't Fall again says Obama signed in it as a natural ingredient.
Yeah, a lot of these so-called natural ingredients, like if you knew what vanilla flavoring was, you wouldn't be using it. If you
Absolutely.
ever get vanilla flavoring, get vanilla bean, okay? Or those vanilla strips, but don't
Yes.
like those brown long things, but don't get anything that says artificial vanilla because that came from an animal's bottom
Well, that's where
secretion.
that taurine came from. Uh, and I dropped the link to that. If you want to look at that article that I just did, I dropped the link, and I'm also dropping a link to that other article I did on the daycare, so you all can see it yourselves where I got it from. And I, like I said, I got more, and I'm gonna be bringing a heck of a lot more. There we go. I dropped all the links, so they're there for you all for your viewing pleasure.
But
And
411, you know, the part where they don't mention the dad, that shows that they don't have good journalism skills,
they
because if they
don't.
were real journalists, they would have got the whole story. See, that's why I don't like the media we have now. It doesn't matter if it's a newspaper or it's the mainstream media. It's like it's so blotchy you can't get a full view of the story because they piecemeal it so they can have more news. Okay, instead of just going and actually waiting until they got the full story. And I think that messes up a lot of men too, because like when you think about these jail reports,
Yes,
say the men are innocent, it's too late. They don't put your picture out there. Um,
that
what
that that,
happened?
that that's exactly right. Um, and Angels Don't Fall says we need to study up on Cinemix. I have never even heard of that. That's something I will.
Cinnamon?
Cinemix. Yeah, I'll put the comment up here. I'm going to do a study on there. I've never heard of that. Cinemix. Yeah, I'm I'm going to study that because I got some other stuff. I just hope everybody's got the stomach for this if they care about families and kids. And I mean, Tommy Jean finds this for me every day, and I said, okay, I'm gonna put it up. And again, shout out to Teapot. He's putting stuff up like this, but we need to we need to put some of this stuff up.
Well, you know, I found out when I was in Germany, a lot of the stuff that we use in America is banned there. Um, a lot of countries won't use the same chemicals or anything that we use. Like the what is it, fluoride? That's
Yeah,
been banned in I don't know how many countries.
And they use
fluoride that they put
fluoride.
in the water.
And I thought, didn't they put fluoride in toothpaste at one time?
Yes, and the crazy thing is you can't take toothpaste onto an airplane. Like
Do that?
they won't let you bring but so much toothpaste on an airplane. My aunt was telling me about it when she went on a plane ride. They took her toothpaste from her. I said, why would they take your toothpaste? Your toothpaste of all things? But if you need toothpaste that don't have fluoride in it, it's like they got this brand called Tom's. It's got no fluoride in it. Um, what they found was the fluoride caused spots on people's teeth, especially the kids.
Right.
They, it's like a they call it calcium deposits, but no, it's fluoride because even it says on the toothpaste, it says do not swallow. There's all kind of videos that I have found on YouTube how to make your own toothpaste. Back in the
Oh
day, it
wow.
was just baking soda and they made a paste. It was like baking soda and peroxide.
Yeah,
That's all
Tony
they
G.
used back in the day.
Yeah, she made me some of that, and I that did work. That that did work. There was another article, and it happened not too far from you, Alice. Uh, a woman a woman shot a 17-year-old girl uh, in the face in Atlanta. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard about that one.
Well, there's been so many homicides in Georgia lately, it's been hard to keep up. Like in Augusta, there was I don't know, we're at a record high. Like this lady at the gas station, they got in a fight at the register, and it was a black lady and a white lady, and they got in a fight in the parking lot, and the lady went in the car
Uh huh.
and came back and shot her right in the face.
Wow. What's wrong with
over
people out here?
over some snacks because they were in line. They were arguing about who was going first, and it escalated from them arguing to the parking lot to the lady shooting the other lady in the face.
Well, I got an article. This was May 2nd, 2022 from WSBTV.com, Douglas County, Georgia. Police
That's
have
actually a good
arrested
area.
well, police have arrested a woman accused of shooting a 17-year-old in the face during a road rage incident on I-20. Douglasville police said the victim was riding in the front passenger seat of a car traveling eastbound on I-20 from Villa Rica when a woman in a black sedan pulled up alongside the vehicle and fired a shot. The shooter then exited on Chapel Hill Road. A passenger in the victim's car was able to take a photo of this woman, and I'm going to show you what this woman looked like, and I'm going to keep it all fair balance here. If I could find it, I can't find the picture, but I think it was an African American woman, I believe, but 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 I can't find the picture. I don't use other people's videos, but here's what happened, and this was in Georgia. Said the girl, Griffith, I believe that was her name, turned herself in around 11 o'clock p.m. Sunday night. Detectives learned that the suspect's three children, who were ages 4 to 9, were in the car at the time of the shooting. Griffith has been charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault, 3 counts of cruelty to children, 1 count of possession of a firearm. During the commission of a felony, she was denied bond at her first hearing Monday morning. Now, let me make sure that is the right, because the Atlanta Journal Constitution? That's also another liberal paper. It says the victim was released. So this woman, She was denied bond, but this is the stuff that's happening out here. With
Well, Georgia's getting really stiff on these people because like so many, like in my area, like in the city, when you go in Augusta, right?
right.
The DA that we got us a woke DA. All
Uh
right,
oh.
he let this guy out, and a 7-year old. It was her 8th birthday. She was out in the yard, and the guy he let out was like a gang member, but like they had a situation at the club, but they couldn't prove who shot the first shot, so they let him out, and that little girl's dead now. But because of him, all these cases that he had, or they seem to be getting out for some reason, and that needs to change. Like everybody's been like really upset because of all these murders been happening lately. I think we've had like 10 in the last couple weeks. Uh, People are going crazy 411.
Well, you
I,
know they are, and I live in a smaller town than you live in. Okay, I live in Lafayette, Indiana, and we had a shooting over here. And sometimes the shootings that occur are people who aren't even from the town, but they were visiting, and you know they got the
yeah,
party, probably got the drinking, and fireworks commenced.
yeah,
Now,
alcoholic goods don't mix.
no, no, they don't. And I'm going to be bringing some more of this information up about these kids. Yeah, look, and I tell everybody here on the 401 Talk Zone radio show, I'm not going to give you the entertainment here. I'm going to give you an education, give you something that's newsworthy, something that you should be listening to. So I will say this: I'm going to continue to bring this information up because I want everybody to know what's going on, because it's not just happening in my town or in Alice's town. I guarantee it's happening in your town. And I'm just going to pull these news clips out, and I'll put the links in the chat. Read the articles for yourself. That's where I got it. And it's up to you to believe it or not. But I guarantee when you go out, you'll be more aware of your surroundings, because even when you can't even walk anywhere, even if you are an elderly woman. I saw a video last year where a young man just punched an elderly woman for no reason.
Oh
For
yeah,
no
that
reason.
was pretty bad, man. Where he just like attacked that little lady. She was
Yeah,
not trying to argue with him. She was trying to go in the building. I think that was New York.
that was New York. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, they say like I took a driver's defense class because road rage has got so bad, and I think it's because of the instant gratification. People are impatient, um, and in a hurry. A lot of people have been under a lot of stress with this whole situation the last 2 years. You don't know what people are going through 411. Like I've had situations where people have honked their horn and stuff like that. I don't like you want to throw the finger at them or whatever. Best thing to do is just like don't do it because you don't know what that person's going through. I know it can be like stressful with some
Right.
people, but like they had a movie about road rage. I think it was a guy, he went on a rampage. I can't remember what the movie was, but it's about a guy. He was on his last brink and he just went and started killing people on the road.
For no reason.
Yeah, that's what the movie's about. But road rage is getting really bad. When I took the defense class, it told us to like not react to the people. Don't get out the car, none of that. If you can avoid contact at all costs because you don't know what kind of weapons they have in their car.
Yeah, I know. I know. Told me because you already know him. Angry Snowman was on my panel. He got out last week, and I guess a truck driver cut him off, and Angry Snowman said he was going to try to do something. I'm like, crazy as hell. You
No, it's
okay?
not worth it, man, because these truck drivers has got guns. like I work at a truck stop, okay? So I deal with the loggers and everything. All of them keep a weapon on them because there is people that will try to jack your truck. Like they will,
Yeah,
especially with gas going up. We about to see some real crazy stuff with gas going up.
I got to ask you a question. How much gas are you all paying down there now? I saw 4.59 here, and I've never seen that here in Indiana.
Well, it
And
depends on what grade you get. Right now it's like if you get regular, it's like 3.97. When you get mid grade, it's like 4.23, and then when you go to get premium, it's like 4.79. I'm like, there's never been a big gap on how much gas is. Normally, it's like 10-20 cents more, but like they're doing something to the gas because like it seems like my gas don't last as long. Like I'll fill up and it's like it's burning faster than it ever did.
yeah, I'm for me, I have a
Have you noticed
2006.
that?
I do, and I take it's pretty close for me to go to work. So you know what I have to do? I have to get out the car and I have to walk. Yeah, I'm getting exercise, but 4.59 for regular here is crazy. And in my Trailblazer, it's $85 to fill it up with a 22-gallon tank at 4.59. And
Goodness.
I've never seen that here in Indiana. It's generally cheap here. Wow.
Well, my friend has a Corvette, right? And he says it's $200 to fill his up.
What's he got? 12 cylinders in that car or something?
It's just because he's got to use premium. It's like $5, almost $5 a
Oh,
gallon.
oh. Now,
So that's why I said, depending on which grade you get, depends on how much you're gonna spend. Like his car has to have premium because that's what it runs on. But he used to ride that Corvette. Older guys they get like, yeah, I'm over 50 now. I need a Corvette. So like he been styling and profiling. He owns his own business, so like he saved his money. There were certain things he wanted to do when he was getting close to retirement. So he bought a Harley. He bought a Corvette. He bought a Winnebago. I said, well, you can't take it with you. So like he's getting close to his retirement age, but he also told me because of everything, the cost of everything going up, he might not be able to retire because he don't know how expensive things gonna get. That's another thing with the older people that are about to retire. How are they gonna afford things when everything just keeps going up?
yeah, they're not going to be able to retire. Latinay said she paid 543 last night, and this Hispanic guy said he paid too much for his SUV and wants to complain, but she asked him if he knows why the gas is so high. And she said he didn't know. Well, I already know why it's high.
They don't want to accept it.
You not know why it's high. And yet, Men's Daily said, I've seen tons of, yeah, that's another thing that's happening now is the violence. It's not just road rage, but Men's Daily brings up a good comment here. Tons of violence happened to multiple Asians since the pandemic in New York. People just snapping out of nowhere. Tons of psychological problems everywhere in North America. And I got to say, he's not lying. He's not.
Yeah,
He's not lying.
it's
And
been happening everywhere for a long one. Like I think when it's kind of like that Stockholm syndrome, you stick people in the house for too long and you push nothing but fear, you're gonna get all kind of chaos. I think like there's still people I see that are still like petrified to go outside, and I'm like, there's nothing to be afraid of. Okay, fear, it's just calm down, especially the older people.
right.
Like my mom started getting panicky because she was watching the television. Every day they were talking about the numbers over and over and over and over again, and it was like I had to like I have to take my mama out of her apartment and just like go do things with her
Yeah, get her away from that
because
TV.
like
I don't. My mom watches
yeah.
entirely too much communist news network. Latney said I told him it was Biden's policies making it. Well, we already knew that, making it expensive. He said he doesn't know. I told him people who can't understand that shouldn't be allowed to vote. Facts. Men's Daily said it's okay, right around $4 in Kansas City for regular. It's record breaking for us in Missouri. And Angels Don't Fall. I, I paid $120 for a 17-gallon tank fill in my Toyota Tacoma. I got horrible mileage and lower grade of fuel. The less mileage I get, the more problems added. Wow, what state do you live in? Angels Don't Fall. I know Alice is in Georgia. I'm in Indiana. Let me know what state you live in, and we will know why your gas prices are very, very high. That is a lot.
Well,
$120.
it's like I live in the rural area, right?
Yeah.
So it's like gas is higher in the rural area than it is in the city. Like I had to get a Sam's card. I saved like 20 cents a gallon with that Sam's card. The best thing to do right now is if you can get one of them save cards from one of these gas stations, get it so you can save some kind of money because like every little bit counts, man. It might not be but 10, 20 cents, but
It counts.
everything counts.
Shout out to Kenneth Williams in the building. He's paying a lot too, very high from the NYC. Well, we already know New York City, and you got that mayor Eric Adams there. I know you didn't put him in, but some of your dumb folks in New York City put him in. And Angels Don't Fall paid $5.89 per gallon last night. The light is on E, and I had enough for 1 gallon. I still have a $200 in the bank from the last fill I couldn't afford. $5.89. Was that for regular or premium there, Angels Don't Fall? Wow. Oh, I know you didn't vote for him, brother Williams, but the liberals in your city did vote for him because he looked just like them. Symbology. But he didn't contribute to lowering your gas prices, and he doesn't have the city council that has a lot of sense in their head either. They're all liberals in New York, and New York, for the most part, is done. Costs so much to get in the city. I'm in SoCal, above Palm Springs and below the Joshua Tree. Wow, SoCal, Southern California. It's a lot of money. Now, Reg lives out there in SoCal too. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's real crazy.
Yeah,
So,
it's getting like I went and got some milk, right? It was $4.15. It's like milk, a gallon of milk. It's like it's getting to the point, get a gallon of gas or get a gallon of milk. Milk costs more than gas now. And that has never happened. Like to the point where it's like they're catching up with each other. Um Gas got down to $2 a gallon. Milk was $2 a gallon. It's like they're head to head with the milk. I'm gonna start going to the farms, man, because it's like the milk at the stores is too expensive. So if you got like a local dairy or anything like that, go and buy the milk from them. It'd be cheaper.
that's true. Now, Angels Don't Fall, Alice says the milk goes bad fast nowadays.
Yeah, it's because of the actual hormones. You know what they're giving the cows?
Yeah,
The milk. It's like they've been pumping these cows up with all kind of hormones, and it's making their milk go bad fast for some reason. So yeah, if you can get local dairy from one of your dairy farmers, do that because it's like even the texture of the milk. from the actual dairy farms is different than the milk that they're giving us because it's majority they water it down is what they do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of water. It's not even the same. Like you'll go to the dairy and buy some milk from dairy farmers and you will see the complete difference. Like it's got the skim still on the milk, but
Wow.
like you need a strainer. When you buy the milk from the dairy farmer, you're gonna have to get one of them strainers and strain it. But that milk you'll be able to make your own cheese, sour cream, butter. You can make all your own stuff from the dairy farmer milk. Like you don't know how different milk is until you get it fresh.
Yeah. Well,
Same thing with the
what about eggs?
vegetables. Eggs, I like me having my own chickens. I have noticed it tastes different. Like they're more richer, and it's like you can actually taste the eggs. Like the white eggs you get from the store, they are like they don't have any kind of real taste to them. They're kind of bland. But when you grow your own, like when you have your own chickens, the eggs taste a lot different, and the yolk's a different color. It's
Well,
like a
yeah,
brighter.
let me ask you something about that. What if you open up, an egg and you get that red spot in there? What do you do with that? You
Oh,
ever had
the
that?
red ones. That just means that it tried to have a baby, but it didn't have a baby. There's nothing really wrong with it because I looked it up. It's just where it was going to be a baby and it didn't become a baby.
Oh, okay. So okay.
There's nothing really to worry about. It just happens sometimes with the eggs.
Yeah, Latinate says the most I can get is 7 eggs per day, and she says I have 7 hens and I collected 30 eggs in one week. It's that like 60% output for production. Hmm. Wow.
That's actually good if like sometimes the hens will lay like 2 eggs a day if you get lucky. If you got a good rooster, like I just got me a rooster, and ever since I got that rooster, I'm getting a lot more eggs than I was. And I think it's because Rooster's happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know where
He's
you are.
got he's pimping, man. He's like Big Papa in the hen house. See, I made two little like two houses. I call them the boom boom room. See, I had this idea that he was gonna be the head honcho, and he'd have his little women, and he'd be dancing for them for one. Like it's funny. It's like this is entertainment that you like. I don't watch TV, so I get to watch the animals, and they're very entertaining. The
Wow.
chickens.
Yeah. Well, we might have to grow our own food one of these days too. Now, Men's Daily says I think that's a new record. That's in his. I guess that's where he lives. Because they're paying a lot for gas out there. But 5.89, he believes that's a new record compared to California's gas prices. The two most.
I'm thinking with all the money they've been sending Ukraine, we're gonna be looking at $10 a gallon by the end of the year.
God, I hope
Cause
not. We're,
we
we're
can't.
already halfway there.
Yeah, like if you think about how much he's been sending over there, and we're gonna have to pay. He's trying to blame Russia, but it's not Russia. The gas was going up before that, and it had to do with all the money. A lot of people don't realize, like, how many people like go to the government? They're always asking for money.
Yeah.
There isn't any money. We're in a deficit. All right, deficit means debt, and people think that there's all this money in the government. They can't keep printing money. If they keep printing money, it's going to be like Venezuela. Venezuela, they had that big inflation. Like they did real good, and then they printed too much money. They had too many programs. They couldn't. They had more programs than they had money coming out, like going in and coming out. And when you do that, you bog down the system. And now it's like $100 a loaf of bread, in Venezuela.
That's ridiculous. That's where Hugo Chavez once.
Yeah, he screwed that whole country up.
Do you know that he owns some of these Citgo stations too? Yeah.
Yeah, it only took like 10 years and that whole country has collapsed. Like they was I think it was one of the conservative outlets. They tried to go to Venezuela. The government controls things so much. Like you can only go to the grocery store and buy certain things at certain times. They've got like soldiers in front of the grocery stores. People can't get medicine that they need, just basic like aspirin or anything like that. They can't even get that. It's like the murder rate is so high because people are starving.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, going
and the
back to
government is starving them, man.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, going back to what Angels Don't Fall says, talking about the eggs, he says, take out the red spot with a fork or the crack. Kenneth says corn feed chickens, and I appreciate that, Latin Patriot. Wish I could get some of those eggs. I know Tommy Jean had given me some of those eggs too. They were, or I bought some. They were good though. They were. She was right.
Yeah,
Latin,
they taste different, don't they?
yeah, and Latin Patriot says I take the red spot out and cook it and try to forget about it. The egg was not fertilized. It only happened once I've ever seen. And when it comes to chickens, you can feed chickens the scraps and eliminate the waste efficiently, utilizing it the way it intended. Okay, I'm learning about
Yeah,
chickens.
cause like they like scraps, man. Like mine, they like corn on the cob. Like if you
Hmm.
could throw them cobs in there, and they'll take them out, man.
Oh, well,
I
I'm
put them
learning.
out there in the morning, and I came back, and there was nothing but like a cob. It was gone. They
Wow,
picked that thing until there wasn't nothing left. The rooster likes the corn on the cob.
wow. Now Latin Patriot lives in California, and Allison, I'm a country girl because I have my own fruit trees and vegetable garden. Well, I used to,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I used to grow cucumbers and till, and this is when I lived in Pennsylvania and had some tomatoes. And guess what? Helped himself to some tomatoes and cucumbers. A good
squirrels.
old groundhog.
A groundhog. You had a groundhog?
I didn't have a groundhog. Groundhog just found his way in when I lived in Pennsylvania, bored his way in there to get some free food.
Well, you know that peppercorn, like the pepper, I take it and spread it around the garden, and you know that Irish Spring soap, you could put
Yeah.
it in a sock and put it in the corners of your garden, and it'll keep the bugs down. But you got to change. You got to cut the bar up in little pieces, and every four, I think it's like 4 weeks, you have to replace the soap. But that's what my pop up used to use for like bug disinfectant. It kept the animals away too. Was like the soap.
Latinate says eggs taste more rich.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did scramble up some eggs I got from a farm, and they were good. Um, they they were good. I mean, I we're gonna
You
end
could
up.
actually taste them, man.
Yeah, that's what Tommy Jean said. She tasted. She says, "Oh, you'll like those. You'll like those eggs." Which I did scramble them, and they were pretty good. And now, now I'm learning that everything you get in the store and on the farm is just very, very
Different.
different.
Yeah, cause I just planted okra, eggplant, and some tomatoes. The guy that I know, he's got some cucumber plants. Like they got this Cherokee purple tomato. Um, I found some German tomatoes. I I'm gonna have a whole bunch of tomatoes. I got romaine, cherry tomato, every kind of tomato you could think of. I like tomatoes. I can't wait to have me some fried green tomatoes. When the last time you had some fried green tomatoes, 411?
Now, you ever had? Now, Tommy Jeans, tell me about some tomato pie. I never had tomato pie. You ever had that?
Yeah, it's good.
You know what? I'm wanting to try that one time. Now I've had fried green tomatoes. Now Angels Don't Fall says use pots for growing the raised beds to keep the gophers from gobbling your crops. Yeah.
You
Well,
had gophers, I had squirrels. I was at war with the squirrels. Okay, I was at war with
what were
squirrels.
they eating? I thought squirrels just ate nuts. They eat other stuff.
They like my corn, man.
Squirrel?
Yeah, squirrels will come for your corn, man.
Wow.
I put a scarecrow out there, and it didn't scare nothing. Actually, the squirrel would sit on its shoulder, and then jump on my plant.
Wow.
Yeah, I got them gangster squirrels, man. Them things is big. They're like kind of like small cats. How big they are. They fed good around here for some reason.
Now Angels Don't Fall says I love tomatoes, but had to stop them because they cause arthritis. I never heard of tomatoes.
Well, it's the seeds. As long as
Oh,
you like, anytime that you like, what I found out was you take the seeds out. Don't eat the seeds in the tomato. You could take the seeds out because there's something in the seed that can cause arthritis. So if you're gonna eat tomatoes, just make sure that you take the seeds out of them and don't
well,
eat the seeds because they don't
shout out,
sit too well in your stomach.
shout out to brother J Dog in the building. Hey, thank you. We have good conversation over here. I mean, this is not the this is information we're giving out here, but with everything happening, people going crazy. Um, I got some other stuff to premiere, and I'll do it next week. But the violence, like I said, Alice, the violence. I mean, I've never seen an array of violence like I see now.
Well, I remember like being a kid, and back in the '90s, we had a influx of violence, especially after that Rodney King thing. Because like
Yeah.
I remember like being little, and even in my area, it had spread, and my brother got shot at the mailbox.
What?
So yeah, he got shot checking the mail, and it was crazy, man. Like
Wow.
the way it spreads, it's like ever since we had those riots, everything has just been really like we had riots for years. People weren't paying attention, I don't think. I think people were like focused on going to work and everything else, but all this political like the political stuff has put our nation in a temperature I have never seen.
A lot of,
Um
especially from the left. Okay, let's just be honest.
yeah, because they don't want to talk about that neither. It's amazing how like they don't even acknowledge Antifa. They don't acknowledge none of these left wing groups that are radical. Like look at what that like I just watched this thing on SKC's where the lady went to the church, one of them old mamas, and had baby dolls. And I have never seen somebody act like that.
Wow, at the church? Wow.
Yeah, she took the babies, like the baby dolls, and she was banging them on the ground, acting the donkey.
That's that's real crazy. That is crazy. Wow.
They were chanting God, what is it? They said that God wants abortion. Like, we're living in backward times because why would you go to a church with that mess? I don't understand. Like, why are y'all coming for the churches? The churches ain't got nothing to do with the Supreme Court.
Well, also with the abortion, nothing is really passed yet, so they haven't overturned Roe v. Wade yet. And number two, let's say if they did, you'll still be able to get it depending on which state you go to. They're just putting it
Yeah,
back.
they're freaking out and don't realize all the Supreme Court is going to do is put it back in the states' hands.
Right.
Like, it's not going to stop certain states from implementing it. It's just going to be able to let the conservative states finally say no.
Yeah, my state is one of them. And we've been joined on the panel by Men's Daily. What's going on, brother? He's frozen. Can you hear me, Men's Daily? You're muted. You might have to drop off and come back on.
Check your mic.
Yeah, check your mic.
What's going on?
Hey, you got me, you got Awesome Alice up here, and we're
Hello, Men's Daily.
and can you hear us, Men's Daily?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
One moment.
Okay. But going back to some of these
Well, like 411, people don't realize that there is white crime. Like, there's white people that are just as crazy as anybody else. Like, they don't put no, like, the only time you'll see it is when they see a point for a political standpoint, whatever. Like, if they're trying to push for gun control or whatever, then they'll say this white man. I think that it needs to stop being a political thing, and they just need to say a man, and it shouldn't matter if he's black, white, Chinese. I don't care what color they are. If they committed the crime and they're out on the run, we need to know who they are and what they look like so we can find them. Because did you see that case where that guy just escaped?
You mean
And I think the cop helped him.
Oh, hey, let's talk about that because they got caught right in my state, Evansville.
Did they? They caught him?
And the lady, the lady shot herself and died.
She didn't want to own up to the responsibility.
Yeah, and the man, they were in a relationship apparently, so it's and these were white people, and she was a correction officer, and she was on the verge. Well, she was on her way to retirement. Now lost her life now, so she's not going to get anything now. Yeah, they were from Alabama and got caught right up in Evansville, Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah, people think they can run. Like, it's crazy how some of these people, they commit crimes and they think they can get away with it. Like there was a lady I just seen in the paper. She had stole from Walmart a flat screen. It was 3 years ago, and they just finally caught her.
What did they
give? 3 years ago, she stole a flat screen, and now she's going to jail, and she's about to do, I think, a year for stealing a TV.
Stealing it too? Well, she shouldn't have stolen that TV.
Yeah, they think that was during that time when people were like trying to exchange stuff. They still try to do it. They'll get something out of the store, out of Walmart, go in the parking lot, and then come back in and act like they got a receipt. They don't have the receipt, and then they'll get the money back because you can return stuff at Walmart. They don't do it no more because they had so many people doing that. But you used to be able to return stuff, and you wouldn't need no ID. All you need is your ID. But people don't realize that everything has a serial number. And as soon as they check the inventory, you're screwed.
You got a barcode on it too.
Wow. Can you hear me loud and clear now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I went on ahead and I got on another device. How you guys doing tonight?
All right. Welcome to the conversation. We put out a lot of information. And what do you have to add to the conversation, Brother Men's Daily? And again, thank you for coming on my channel, and thank you for the PayPal. I did get that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was wondering. I said, man, I haven't even heard from the guy or anything. And then you got to my channel, and on the comment section, I said, oh, okay, he got it.
And everybody, if you can, maybe you can spam your channel, brother Minsdale. He's got some good information. And thank you, Latin Patriot, for spamming Alice's channel. If you got a channel, put it in the chat. I'll put my earlier channels in the chat. If you're looking for some educational content, and I'm actually out in the field doing this as well, check out my second channel, the QCIS channel. I'm going to be doing more field videos, but check out this channel as well, the 401 Talk Zone radio show. I'm not one that asks for a lot of donations. That's up to you. But one thing that I want to happen is please bring me some subscribers, like, share the information that I'm bringing on this channel. And anybody else who comes in my chat who has a channel like Awesome Alice, Latin A, subscribe to their channels, Jenny V. We got a small, and Brother Minsdale. We have a small group of individuals in Celine's channel. She was in the chat. Subscribe to all these channels because we're going to be putting out a lot more information on this side. And shout out, he's not here. I did send him the link. Teapot, the Prophet of Thought, subscribe to his channel, and T's channel. But for the most part, we're going to be bringing out a lot more of these news clips and a lot more of what's happening because I just don't believe individuals. I don't know if they don't care or if they're unaware of what's going on around them. You don't want to be a target. And
Well, that's why I think it's important people learn self-defense. Like if you don't know self-defense, get in the classes. It's good to know how to defend yourself, especially with this road rage the way it's going. Make sure that you're straight. Don't react because it's been getting crazy, especially in Atlanta. Like they just been going on a rampage in Atlanta.
I did not know Atlanta was that bad, but
they got a thing that they're doing in Atlanta. It's called bump and jack. So if you do come down here, be careful. Like they'll slightly hit your car, and then other cars will come behind that car. If you get out your car and you see another car, get right back in your car and drive to a different spot and then call. Or before you even get out the car, say I've been in an accident because like these people have been. It's called bump and jack. It's where they bump your car and then they jack you.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Wow.
bump and jack.
Wow, that's pretty deep. Speaking of road rage, my neighbor above me in my complex, Alice, she had told me that she had worked at she was going to work one day, and as she was going to work, this was like not even a week ago. I came out, and I normally say hi to her as I'm getting my mail and everything. She's in her early 20s, and I said she had her hair everywhere. I said, what's going on with you? And she said, I literally just came from work and I got hit by a car and got up and I had to continue going. I said, why come? Because the driver didn't have a license, didn't have any insurance, didn't have any license plates. So she was ultimately screwed. I said, so what did your job do? She said, my job just let me have 4 days off. So here I am walking around just looking crazy. It's real out here, you guys. Okay. These people do not give a shit. A lot of these individuals have unresolved psychological problems. Like I always say, you guys, I said this on my channel about dealing with women with psychological problems, but I also like to go into dealing with people in general, both male and females with psychological problems, and when the pandemic hit, in my opinion, it kind of really exposed both businesses, jobs, and people for who they really, really are. It really tested your faith and actually seeing who people really, really are and what's really going on, man. You know, I made a video just recently about Kevin Samuels, the great Kevin Samuels, the great Charles Tyler. Go look up his channel. His channel's still alive. He passed away. And Tom Leykis, you know, the legend Tom Leykis, who he had recently made a really, really disappointing tweet, you know, about Kevin Samuels. And I'm a longtime fan of this man, you know, very long-time fan, and millions of others are long-time fans. Even the older guys in their 50s and 60s know about Tom Leykis, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, and if he'd have just whispered in a lot of our ears years ago, a lot of us guys would have made different decisions. But back on the fact of the psychological issues and relating to what we're talking about, man, he had basically stated, you know, as Kevin Samuels, I don't know if you guys seen my video or not. It was a recent video I made a couple days ago. But typically, Kevin Samuels, you guys heard about the man's death and everything. But Kevin Samuels, what he ended up doing was he shouted the man out and gave him respect and props about how he had like a similar platform, but just in radio mode, you know, giving them props, giving them thanks. Shout out to Tom Leykis, man. You know, he's a hero, all this stuff, right, for a while. And then till then, now the man died. And then Tom Leykis, right, said a very, very disturbing tweet, which was, you know, well, this is what you get when you steal other people's products, man. And that's pretty messed up. Okay, that's what you get when you steal from other people's products or other people's ideas. I mean, I hate to say it, but the man had 1.4 million subscribers. He had more subs than any man on YouTube in the manosphere, right? Anybody in the red pill community, anybody in the MGTOW community, hell, anybody who's not a pill at all. He had more subscribers than them, man, that actually had a voice in there, right? Like us and everything. And it's like, why would a grown man have a reason to steal from you? You know, you have to look at it this way. The times that Oprah, Ricky Lake, right, Geraldo, Sally Jesse Raphael, this is old school stuff. If you guys young, man, you guys might want to look them up. Okay, this is what we did back in the day.
All them people.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
these are the days where I always say that women had a 50+ year head start of dogging men out on these TV shows. They dogged us out, man, from being the no good kid's dad to the guy though who was in and out of jail, right? These same women who chose these guys, they were actually dogging us out. But now we had a man who actually came up and actually was speaking not just for men, because he actually started off, people didn't know, he was dogging men out. He was getting them on their ass or whatever, right? But he had to strengthen these guys to show them how to be a man and how to approach a woman and what to do and what to not do. And now this man passed away, right? You guys, listen, man, you got a lot of women out there celebrating this man's death, just like they celebrated Charles Tyler's death. Let me tell you, if we don't have a serious country, right, or continent, right, specifically North America, full of people with psychological problems and can cheer for another person's death, that's pretty fucked up. If they can go ahead and if they can take my neighbor upstairs and take a car and just run her over, and they just kept going, man, no license or anything like that, we got a pretty demonic situation. The stories that Alice just told us, man, it's real. This stuff is not no joke out here, you guys, you know. So this is just to bring to your attention, you guys, of what's going on from my perspective.
Now, I wasn't going to talk about KS, and I'm still not, but before him, there was Sergeant Willie Pete, Ringo. Those are the real OGs. They actually got it started, but they couldn't penetrate because they got their channels flagged. Tommy, he was back there. Avenue Rants was back there. So I can't ever forget those guys. They actually put everything on the platform. And Tom Leykis, I did listen to him. I started listening to him back in 2003, and he lasted up for a while. But people wouldn't support his new normal network, so I guess you got to pay for a subscription now. But
like today, his new normal, right, which is kind of smart if you think about it. He actually, people ask, well, how come you're not on YouTube, whatever? And he says, it's smart. He said that because I get paid behind the paywall. He took his millions and millions of dollars, develop his own platform, his own app. It's called premiumtime.com. Go download the app. You pay roughly about $19 a month. It's worth it. And you get all of his old content plus his current content. You know, he puts out maybe 2 to 3 videos a week or whatever it may be, you know, and he doesn't switch up. But what's smart about it is because he doesn't get deplatformed or strikes or anything like that, as opposed to like on YouTube. Okay. That's why when you have a lot of us red pillars and a lot of us MGTOW men, and I tell these guys that when you come on the platform and we're telling the God honest truth, you have to have in your mind 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? You know, and Sam, man, he's a testimony of this, that whenever you expose the God honest truth, man, about in general female nature, right, or what's going on with governments and all that, right, you have to assume there's a possibility you're going to get demonetized, you're going to get striked, and your channel's going to get shut down. You understand? So once you come in already expecting it, then when they start paying you, don't depend on their money. Do not depend on YouTube's money or anything. You have to have other financial plates spinning, man. You got to, man. But walk into this already knowing you're going to get demonetized eventually, or a strike, or your money's going to slow down. I say use it to build your audience up. And then what people are starting to do is build their audience all the way up here, right? Let's say they build it up to 5,000 people, for example, 5,000 subs or more. Then they go ahead and open up platforms like Patreon, you know, right? Or, you know, there's other ones, though, right out there, you know. There's people going to Vimeo or whatever. And what they'll do is they'll tell their audience to go over there and charge them like a really dirt cheap fee, man, like month to month. But they're still getting not only the same content, but content that's not even released that's on here. There you can cuss, you could show people different things that they've never seen, you know, that you can't show on YouTube. Just all types of stuff. And that's what makes those platforms more powerful, you know, and they got that cutting edge advantage. Granted, it costs, but sometimes you got to pay the cost to be the boss, you know, no matter if you're male or female or whatever your situation is.
Well, what I found was like using multiple platforms actually gives you more reach, because not only do you have the YouTube, you have the other platforms. Like they got BitChute, they got Twitch. You don't really want to be on there because it's more like a gamer thing. There's other ones that people have been using, but like a lot of these big channels, they have multiple platforms. And the good thing about the other platforms is you can link the same thing you're doing on YouTube to these other platforms. So yeah, if you're trying to make don't put all your ducks in one pond. Put your ducks in different ponds. That way your ducks might find another duck, and then you have more ducks. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting that you bring that up. But with the Kevin Samuel thing, all I've seen is people being degenerate. Like all the man was for some reason, every time men make their own spaces and try to do something as men, these women go into rage because they don't want to hear what a man has to say. See, they don't want men talking. That's why when I found like the men in the manosphere, yeah, there's some things I don't agree with what they say, but I feel that it's important men be able to say what they feel, because women need to know how men feel. We don't need to be guessing. We need to respect men, especially if women want men to respect them. It has to be like a mutual thing. But we live in a society where the simple respect one another doesn't even exist anymore. The cordialness, the understanding, it's like it's because we have been demoralized in our society. That's why there's no moral standing anymore, no moral basis, man. But I'll check out your channel and I'll put you on my list, because I've been like having a woman's list and a men's list. So I'll put you on there. I'll check out your stuff.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good stuff. I checked it out, and he'll support your channel as well. Yeah, he does a lot of MGTOW, lot of information. And you're right, Alice. See what happened back in the '90s, and Brother Men's Daily just mentioned it when the Sally Jesse Raphaels and the Ricky Lake were on. Black men just sat there. Well,
They took
I'm going to say men, period, because it was not just black men. Men were just silenced on those shows.
Yeah, men. Period. It didn't matter. He's right. Men were just silent, man. They could be Indian, Jamaica. It didn't matter.
And when they tried to speak, their word wasn't heard. So when they got on a platform like YouTube, women were used to having all the say. So even then, when the Sergeant Willie Pete's and the Sandmans and the Barbarosas were out, and we're talking about 2010, 2011, even when Ringo, TV Raw, and Tommy were out, they were getting silenced because a number of the women did not want to hear the truth. You had people, and I'm subscribed to them, Undead Chronic, if you're familiar with him. He's gotten his channel clipped.
Demonetized.
Yes. So it's almost like a YouTube has almost become a communism type of platform. If you don't
he said it like that. That's like that's damn near like the perfect word to call it, man. Shit.
Because I can't get monetized.
Well, I found out like with YouTube, because like I was just a video logger, right? And I talked about everything with my first channel. And it's like there's certain stuff you can't talk about, and that's not free speech, man. Like I would talk about the one thing that actually got my channel flagged was talking about Jim Jones and the behaviors. And that got my channel flagged.
Yeah.
And see, I know when you put out truth, individuals, I'm just going to be honest, as much as I like this country, I served for 17 years for it. Let's just be honest, you all. A number of Americans, they're pretty happy living a lie because it makes them feel good. They don't want to see the truth.
Correct.
They really don't, because let's be honest, truth sometimes it hurts. Honestly.
Yeah, it really does hurt.
So they'd rather be lied to, deceived.
Well, I remember think like the 90s, y'all talked about those shows. I think it was a way to adjust men and women for emotional abuse. Like I remember seeing them shows, and they always painted the men in such a way, and I couldn't understand it because the men that I do know don't act this way, don't carry themselves this way. It was like a whole different world when I cut on the TV, because the men that I do know, that they're upstanding men, they don't act this way. So it was weird, because my dad's military, so he runs a tight ship on how things is. And a lot of this stuff that we see on TV, it's just not real to me. Like, it's crazy. Like the women acting the way they do. A lot of the women that I know don't act this way. They actually respect men. And to see people carry themselves the way they have, and I think because of that, the emotional state of people has been highlighted instead of the logical state. See, women are more emotional. And because we're more emotional, we're more reactionary. And that's why like YouTube's more for reactions. That's why they put the stuff out there to like shock value kind of stuff. It's to get a reaction. And reaction is based on emotion. And they don't want us thinking in logic and common sense. And when we talk in common sense and logic, that's when we get flagged. Because they don't want us to come out of the matrix. They want us to stay in there and stay in our feelings. It's amazing how they know how to play on our emotions, man. And that's why I started looking at the men's channels, because y'all actually spoke in logic. And I like that more than the emotional stuff.
But even with the men's channels, Alice, there's some men out here who you know.
I can only watch some.
Go ahead and say it for me. Go there. Do it, man.
I'm
Do
gonna
it.
have to say it. There
Hit her
men
with
out
hit her
here.
with that torpedo, man. Go ahead.
There are men out here who are total bitches out here. Okay, I mean, they are. I don't even watch this shit. They are.
Oh my
Hey,
God, I'm telling you.
keep it
And he talked
real.
and
Keep it
he talks
real, real
about this.
talk.
I told you all of his old videos. He talks about this, man. It still
Oh
applies.
yeah,
That's why I like 411's videos. He goes there. He like really goes
that's
there,
why.
man. Like go to his older videos. I love it, man. Thanks,
That's why I
411.
couldn't get monetized. And see, when I first got on YouTube, we didn't have a StreamYard. We were just going toward Google Hangouts, but then people got loud and wrong. And I want to say this. We
Okay.
all got channels up here. We all got, and I'm gonna just this is just coming from me. Be careful. I know Alice used to have panels. I don't know if you go live anymore. Brother Men's Daily.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
But if you guys decide to go live,
Mm-hmm.
watch out for who you have on your panel. And I have to give a shout out because I came out when he came out, Brother Reg. Well, Brother Reg, the bad guy. Go check his channel out. Well, he stopped having panels for a while because you have a number of individuals who don't have a channel. So they just get on the panel to argue. And that's what I don't want here. It's okay.
Wow. Yes. Yes.
And
That's a big, huge red flag.
It's okay to disagree, but let's just be honest. A lot of people in today's world don't even know how to disagree without being violent or having a lot of vitriol.
or threatening.
Right. So I'm just going to
They
say.
know that's gonna flag your channel. What kills me is people know what can flag people's channel and they still do it out of spite.
And that's
Like,
because they don't have a channel.
yeah,
Well, that's the thing. A lot of the individuals don't come from a place of what we call diplomacy, just being very diplomatic, where we can have a friendly conversation, friendly way of agreeing and or disagreeing or whatever, And it's like, that's why when it comes to conversations about politics, I tend to stay away from it because back in my day, I want to say back in my 20s or whatever, the thing was, man, we used to be able, man, to have a friendly conversation and walk away. We disagree, but we could walk away, shake hands, and we would be cool. Not anymore, man. Nah, they pulling out guns. They arguing with you. They talking about, well, your truth is not my truth. Or they going there with the conspiracy theory. And that's what gets me, right? Or the stuff about Russia. Russia's the best country in the world. The Trump supporters and well, you support Biden. I don't go there, man. When they go to that point, I'll say a little bit of here and there, and then after I'll just back up because I know what direction that can go. And it has really, really enhanced like big time out here, man, with the conspiracy theorists and the information war. It is insane out here, man. You can't have a friendly disagreement without somebody yelling their truth out you, or yelling their opinion at you. It's got that deep, man. You can't even, it gets so deep, you can't even have a conversation about the Bible, and you got to get in the conversation with a today's Bible person and a today's Muslim person or someone from another religion, man. And let me tell you, man, it can get really ugly, man. So it's just depend on what type of hot water you want to step in and how far you want to step all the way in it or a little bit. It's just really, yes, you really got to kind of be cautious on things. Now, I am a type of guy that when it comes to certain topics or whatever it may be that I'm interested in, I'm not going to necessarily hold back necessarily, no, or whatever, even on my channel is all men's channel, and I'll tell you up front, you go there, there's a lot of things that I'm going to say that's going to make a lot of women uncomfortable. So I tell them, hey, if you come over there or whatever inside the lion's den, beware of being bitten. Beware of the fire. Beware of getting burnt, stabbed, shot, whatever. But yeah, but it's real, you guys. It's real.
You got to put your tough skin on.
But go ahead, Alice.
It's interesting you say that because I grew up around nothing but guys, so I'm pretty used to what guys will say and how they'll say things, and you do have to have tough skin dealing with men because men are not going to sugarcoat. A lot of them are just going to be blunt and tell you how they feel. I found the best way is just, okay, I respect your opinion and not getting your feelings, but it's hard for women because the women are like emotional creatures. Like that's why it takes a while for a woman to emotionally mature. Okay, yeah, we mature physically early, but the emotional growth takes time. And
Sure.
it takes a woman getting out of herself to actually see herself. See, that's what I talk about is processing. I don't think people process enough. And with the political thing that you were talking about, it seems like everybody has been radicalized because of the media and they don't know how to detach from it. And you'll see it. You can tell like who watches what channel
Yeah.
by their anger and what they're angry at. See, we shouldn't get to the point where we're enraged. Rage is a bad thing because we're not thinking properly. And I
Correct.
don't get this speaking my truth thing. No, speak the truth. What
Right.
is the truth? Because if we put ourselves in front of the word truth, then that's only because of that. It's like a story. There's three sides to a story. There's her side, his side, and then there's the truth. Okay, everybody's going to say it in their own perception, but what is the real truth is the question. And because there's so many opinions out there, it's hard to get to the truth. And the propaganda, like the conspiracies, like I think the government came up with that word so we'll stop critically thinking. There's more propaganda than anything. I look at the propaganda like, what is it? Why are they putting this in our face? And what is the purpose? That's like critically thinking. I don't think people critically think anymore.
No, they
That's
don't.
the problem.
And also the problem here's what I'm looking at. Individuals think they're right. That's the problem. Look, I've been wrong, and will say I've been wrong, and I can learn from others. Number of individuals don't understand that they're wrong sometimes.
Yeah, they can't humble themselves.
Yes.
411.
They
They don't know
Yes.
what the word humble means. They don't realize
Absolutely.
just because you're wrong does not mean it's the end of the world. They think that they have to be right. And if they ain't right, then it's the end of the world and they go into a
Yes.
crash mode.
Right.
It's
And that's
okay
why
if you're wrong. We
and
learn
that's
from
why
when we're wrong.
I made a video on that. I made a video on that on but it was aiming towards women on how they don't take accountability or responsibility. And we talk, and I talked about what we call the 1 to 2 percenters. Okay, the 1 to 2 percenters are ladies like you know, who actually can sit down and logically listen to the man's side of the story and hear the guy out, no matter if it's an uncomfortable situation or a comfortable situation or whatever, right? And we talk about this in the MGTOW community. There's the waltz, and then there's the no waltz. The no waltz is, you know, not all women are like that, and the all waltz are the all women are like that. You know, we talk about this in our MGTOW and Red Pill community and everything, and it's true. You're going to meet a lot of guys out there and women that always are committed to thinking and believing that they're always right. And like I said before, and I said it again, it goes back to what I said, the psychological issues. Some of them are suffering from narcissistic personality disorder, bipolar, you know, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, BPD, you know, and a lot of their symptoms come from the fact of entitlement. They have to always be right. You can never criticize them because there's positive criticism and negative criticism, right? And if you harm that little bit of ego, man, you will ruin them. And this is just a disorder that they have to figure out on their own. You know, you couldn't
Yeah,
believe how many people Kevin Samuels has said to go to counseling, and a lot of them will say, "Well, I don't have to go to counseling, or I can just self-medicate or whatever," right? And Kevin Samuels asked these questions. Don't you think it's insane, right, that you got 6 kids by 5 different kids' dads, and you're still trying to get married? Are you kidding me?
Well,
And
you know
you're
that's
looking.
that's
I mean,
another thing.
it's real.
Well, that's another
yeah,
thing too. Unrealistic expectations. You get people that are asking for something more than what they got, but they don't even qualify to get it. But they expect you to have it.
The
Well,
delusion is for real.
with the expectations, I think a lot of people have unrealistic expectations.
True.
They want more than they'll give, and
Right.
that's just the way it is. But yeah, the mental illness in the women is really high. I think the numbers that they put out aren't accurate because there is a lot of women that aren't honest about their situation, and counseling is actually healthy for people because it gives you that time to sit back and address yourself. I think the world's moving so fast that everybody needs to sit down and have some constructive criticism every now and then. Now, there is constructive and then there's destructive. All right. If you're criticizing someone to help build them up, that's one thing. But a lot of women do destructive criticism. They think that they got to break the man down to nothing so they can build him up. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to, like, hey, I see this. I see you could do an improvement on this. That's one thing. But when you sit there and criticize a man and try to demasculate him, that's what they've been doing in our society. Because like with the boys, I have two boys, and I noticed like the way they treat the kids, and it's starting in elementary school, like this programming of getting boys to be more feminine and stuff like that, not enhanced,
Right.
like not
There it
in like
is. There it
doing their
is.
masculine thing. A lot of women don't realize masculinity is the natural state of man. Femininity, these feminists done turned it into something else. Femininity is just the female state. It's supposed to be soft, easy going, humble. That's what women are supposed to be. When women start to try to take like a man's lead and be masculine, it doesn't even look right. It doesn't sound right, and it's standoffish.
Mhm.
That's what men don't like. That's what I've
Sure.
noticed. Is
Yeah.
like with the men that I have ran into, they want women to go back being women, and a lot of women, they really want men to be masculine. They really
Yeah.
do, but they've been taught this crap from knee high up from these schools and everything that masculinity is toxic. But
Thank you.
masculinity is what keeps this country strong. And if we
Thank you.
don't let the men be masculine, then we're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's
And that's why on my channel, right, I tell these guys after they've got divorce raped, baby trapped, guys who've been cheated on, or the woman left them for their landlord or left them for their boss at work, right? Right after you went through this multiple times, and then you got this one chick. Well, women are not like that. It's like an alarm and everything. I tell them get the power of the book. The book
yeah.
is this book right here. The power of the passport will set you free.
When
It will.
I
So
It
say
will give you.
you a
It will give.
passport man?
It will give you options. We got a big, huge passport group, right? We call it the Black Passport Move, where guys are encouraged, right? We tell these guys in their late teens, all the way up, right? Even their 50s, right? 60s, right? Get this passport, because the thing is that some people realize that they think in their mind, only thing they know is United States is the only place in the world, and Canada, and that's that. But they don't realize that there's women out there that do not think and believe just like the dysfunctional average North American woman thinks. Am I saying all of them? No, but the average one. You go out there to beautiful Brazil, right? You go to Colombia. Guess what? I've seen guys in their 60s, man. They 60s killing it out there, man. I was shedding tears out. They were so damn happy, man. I seen another guy, 61, go to Ghana, Africa, found him a girlfriend, man. Took him like 3 weeks, found him a girlfriend, and still couldn't keep the women of him. And he told everybody that on YouTube, say, I'm going to come back in June. This was back in December. I'm going to come back in June, right? I'm going to make sure I get all my money in the United States. So when I leave, I'm not coming back. What's the point of coming back? Look at my boy Cortez Smith. He know what I'm talking about. He's on our he comes in our show over there at Carlos Red, the Red Pill Travelers channel. What's up, Cortez, man? Yeah, that's my boy SYSBM. He telling the truth. We got the power. This little book right here, right? we mentioned this book, Alice, to a lot of women, and they shake in their boots every time. Why you got to go over there? She just wants you for a green card or whatever, and they try to shame us as submission. But the thing is, we tell them this: if you got thousands of guys, you got access to every single day through social media, text message, email, dating apps or whatever, right? And guys can't do it because it's a sausage fest out here in North America, man. It is saturated. Hell, even married guys don't even know they women are out there cheating on them. They don't know. And so I tell them to get that passport. Why do you want to do that or whatever they think? I say, in my mind, you would think she would think, well, at least I got 1,001 other guys that want me. They're not thinking that way. Because I guess they're thinking that if one guy get that passport, that means thousands of others will go ahead and do it. Shout out to that individual right there. Yeah, I was on Pablo's Frescobar's stream also too. 411, you need to come over to these channels, buddy, man. We would love to have you over there, man. We have it popping over there, man.
Yeah, I met him at in Atlanta, and yeah, I've known Cortez. He's been on my channel and other channels for a while. And and if you can, brother Gigi, spam your channel down there so individuals, because I've heard a lot of your stuff and it sounds like a lot of my old stuff. That's why I haven't been able to get.
Oh my God!
Especially when I went in there, and I've gotten some individuals that didn't like particularly the women, came in there when I talked about the single mothers and the grown kids living at home. Well, first of all, here's what I'm going to say: if you don't like my stuff or your stuff or Alice's material, why in the world do you come? You come because you want to hear what we got to say. So you can go back and troll. You're not hurting me by trolling me. You're just giving me another view. That's all. Because
thank you.
You have another, but they don't want it. They don't want to deal with it. And see, that's another thing that individuals aren't. And I did a video on it. They have an immaturity complex too. They never grow up. And I did a lot of psychological videos. Number of individuals, like some of the women have the princess syndrome. Always entitled. Oh,
yeah, you talked about that. It is just so delightful to see him so happy talking about his stuff. Boy, you lighten up like a lightning bug, boy. You smiling. I'm like, I just enjoy you talking about it.
Man, look, let me
Look
tell
at
you.
that joy,
stuff
boy.
is powerful, man. That stuff would knock you to your knees, man. If you were, to me, I'm a more, how can I put, I'm a person, I keep an open mind. I'm the type of person that I'll play this stuff at least 10 times, man. For real. On my Bluetooth out loud, man, in the car. I told them there was places I was downtown and I was playing this stuff, man. The brothers was stopping their car, man, and like, damn, who brother man preaching, man? I said, listen. And everybody start listening to you. I'm telling you, your old stuff still applies today. I haven't seen you made any videos lately. I see you make more live streams. I said, man, I'd be glad when he makes some more. Because the thing is, you touch bases on stuff that a lot of us, right, have touched on, but you go at a whole nother angle and deeper with it. Like I always brag about the grown kids staying with the single moms or whatever. That's something nobody really talks about, man. Nobody for real talks about that stuff, man. And that was like super powerful.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm gonna go back and I thought about it and told me Jean, I believe she's already talked me into it. I got to get up there. I'm going to do some more videos even while I'm driving. Let me tell you, live streams are okay. But to me, I still believe in doing some good old-fashioned content. I like doing content. See, I started doing live streams, and shout out to Brother Nate. It's still relatively new to me. But again, you just have to be careful with who you have on your panel. And I like my audience. My audience is a diverse audience. That's the way I like it. People like Survival, people like Angry Snowman and Latin Patriot and Al. That's where I keep my audience. So my audience isn't, it's always going to be diverse, because I get a plethora of ideas, and I'm gonna do some more content, and even on my other channel, I already spammed it, but you gotta spam your channel in there, brother Gigi, so people can find you because I've heard some of your stuff already. If you can spam, I mean, I gave you a wrench, so you should be able to
Okay.
spam your
Yeah,
channel.
I got yeah, you made me a moderator, so thank you. I appreciate that, man. I'll look out for you if there's any trolls, any guys or gals in there
Yes,
with red flags, I
yes,
mean,
you can spam your
yeah,
channel in there so people can, my audience can find you because it's got a small channel. I'm going to tell you, you got to have a stomach to hear his material. It's not, if you're soft, his channel is not for you. But I know my audience.
He's got that raw content. Like you
yeah,
got to have
Yeah,
some thick
I've heard
skin.
it.
yes.
Well, I always wonder, why do these women get upset just because a man has a passport? Don't they realize men have been traveling this earth
Well,
since the beginning?
well,
Like, the
well, let
only
us.
thing I could think of why a woman would get upset when you show the passport is because she is narcissistic and wants to control you. Just
Absolutely.
like the women that tell y'all, like, oh, why would a woman have to tell a man that I'm not like that? She should just be able to walk in her walk and show you that. If she's got to go to tell you that I'm not like that woman, then yes, run like hell, man, because she shouldn't have to tell you that. A
Yeah,
man can decide what kind of woman you are just by dealing with you. See,
You're
that's what that
thank you.
entitlement thing you're right about is like, it has to do with ego, and even it from the beginning of earth, okay, the beginning of time, women will always struggle with not being able to submit to a man. It takes practice. We women aren't supposed to submit to all men, but we're supposed to respect them. But we're supposed to submit to our husband, and they've got this idea. I don't agree with it. They're saying that submitting to your husband is slavery. No,
Yeah,
submitting is an act of love. Love is an action. And if a woman
thank you.
can't submit to her husband, then there is no relationship. The man is supposed to lead.
Hey, Miss Alice, can you do us all an educational favor, please? I appreciate you preaching today. You're doing a fabulous job. Can you go to Google or Webster's Dictionary and give everybody, even the women on the screen, the definition of submission and the definition of slavery? Okay. Right?
Oh,
Can you go there and then read it out loud? Because there's a lot of them out there that really got it in their mind based on feminism, right? The definition of slavery, submission, hell, also the definition of feminism, okay? All right, because a lot of them don't know what the definition is, right? They never took the time out or whatever, and they'll assume, that's just slavery or whatever. And when you actually look it up, they're like spellbound and like, oh my God, what the hell?
That's because they want to follow the others. They're like sheep. They don't think for themselves. And, for a number of women, it's about control. And when the worst place for a number of women to go are these colleges and universities. They come out dumber than they were before they went in. They lack the common sense. I don't care if you have a PhD. I find most of the educated ones very ignorant. And I find a lot of the guys. And it just depends on what you major in, because to me, you have to apply what you learn in college to the real world to see if they basically match up. A lot of people just can't do that. It's because it really comes down to common sense, knowing your surroundings. That's
Yeah,
what it, and that's
yeah.
Okay, I got the word submission. Okay, it says
There we go. There we go, you guys.
the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or the will or authority of another person, the action of presenting a proposal, application, or other documentation considering for judgment. Okay, it doesn't say slavery.
no,
Thank you.
Where's slavery in that?
it's not in
Thank
there.
you.
That's all
It's
made up.
not.
Thank you. Thank you. And what was your source? Was that from Google or was that from Webster's Dictionary or somewhere else?
That's that dictionary that they have on Google. But like slavery
Thank
is
you.
when you don't have a choice. The the act of submitting, when a woman submits to a man, she freely does it. It's not by force. She does it out of love. And
Thank
I
you.
think that's where a lot of people have like got the idea all twisted. And you're right about the feminist thing. The feminist thing is an ego. The only way I can describe a feminist is an ego-led woman. Okay? Because the woman wants to take charge. Now I've
Yeah.
done like odd jobs, like men jobs that I consider men jobs, and I have learned because my dad's like, Alice, you want to try? So he let me go try. Okay. And I sat my little behind back down because I realized, like, I started to respect men more and more the more I tried to do some jobs that men do. And I realized that the importance of men. Like, I've done roofing jobs. God bless them men. Okay. Because I about fell out. I don't know how they do this roofing, but I couldn't do it daily.
Sure.
I've done framing before, and it's like the physical, a lot of people don't want to accept the physical. Yeah, women can be strong, but we're not physically fit to
Thank
fit
you.
these jobs. And
Thank
women
you.
need
And
to realize that it's okay we're not equal, but the jobs need to be done. So
thank you.
it's like they need to humble themselves. I think if you take a lot of these women and you put them on these jobs, they will be humbled. I think
Thank
that's what it's going to take is actually putting them out there,
Well,
making them lay
Well,
them
that's the
bricks.
that's the problem, Alice. See, this is the problem that we men always talk about is that I let's say let's take me and 411's trade. Okay, you know I'm an HVAC guy. You know he's an engineer. Okay, by trade. Okay, we wouldn't mind women out there with us, would we? Would Hey, 411, would you mind working next to a woman? You wouldn't mind it, right? Okay,
no,
I wouldn't
no,
mind it. Okay, but here's the problem: they're not applying for our positions, man.
no, they're
They're
not.
not. Hell, listen, there's some of these jobs out there. They throwing bonuses, right? Because they will be the minority, and they got minority scholarships, minority bonuses. They won't do these dangerous jobs, man. Hell, listen, I went a long time ago. I went to a doctor's appointment one day, and I had for EKG. You know, I don't know if you guys know what an EKG is,
Oh
right, or whatever.
yeah, you know
Yeah,
what
I'm
Yeah.
EKG is.
certified in that.
Okay, so I went to a doctor, right? You know, an actual doctor down there, and there was a clinical study I was trying to volunteer for. But in that clinical study, they had to actually see, you know, do heart readings, all this other stuff, whatever. Guess who was there, right? The two doctors that was there. One doctor said, "Hey, man, it's this, it's that, you know, whatever, you know, because I had like a different heart rate or whatever. I'm gonna have to refer you to a what we call a electrical doctor." I said, "You guys got an electrical doctor?" He's like, "Yeah, he specializes in the veins, things like that."
Mm.
That same doctor, right, referred me to another doctor. Guess what? Both of those doctors were male. I said, "Damn, I was expecting a female," and they said, "Well, you got me." Exact words. You cannot make this shit up, man. Dangerous jobs, man, that deals with saving life, not a nursing job, not a phlebotomist or any other thing like that or whatever, or respiratory. They are important, but we're talking about somebody who actually got to go inside of a human being's body, man, and save their life, right? Or give them an advanced diagnosis. We don't see women doing that shit. We do not, man. For real. Doing sanitation out there. Who do you see out there in those trash trucks majority of the time? Men,
Man,
men, right? If I'm dealing with 483 phase, you know what I'm talking about, 411. If I'm doing with 483 phase or whatever, right? And I'm trying to wire this up right now, right, to run a 483 phase motor, right?
Yeah.
I do not see one woman in that class at all trying to learn with me. Somebody they got free scholarships and like bonuses, right? But they just won't do it. But yet they want to get paid the same as a man. Well, go do the jobs that are the same as a man and you'll get paid. But no, they want to sit back behind an apartment complex's desk or a nursing job the majority time or a beautician job, whatever it may be. desk jobs, though, right? Something that doesn't involve them leaving the facility, and they want to get paid the same as a man who's out there in the field dealing with this dangerous electricity, this dangerous trash, heart surgery, or whatever, and they want to get paid the same. Crazy.
Yeah, that's the problem. See, that has to do with that affirmative action. I don't agree with that because that takes
Yep.
the merit base out of it. The
Title
truth of the
IX.
matter is the reason men actually make more than women is because y'all don't have to deal with the monthly thing. Y'all don't have as many like health issues that can pop. Yes, y'all have health issues, but you don't have the same kind of body chemistry. A woman's body is like a walking train wreck at times, okay? Especially when we have this clock. Men don't have to worry about that, and a lot of women don't realize because men don't have to take that week off or be feeling fatigue and stuff from our natural state as women. They don't realize that men are capable of doing more hours because of your biology and the way your body is built. And
Yes.
women that want the same pay are not they're not logical, okay? You can't expect to get paid the same as another person and you don't do as much work. You see, that's what they're messing up the youth with. I've noticed that, like the way they're trying to do this minimum wage and start the kids off with a high pay, that's not showing them that they have to work to build to get up the ladder. It's like they're trying to put it in the kids' head that you're entitled to this. You're entitled to this. No, you got to work. This is the real world. Okay. You can't just go out there and expect somebody that owns a business to pay you a whole bunch of money. No, you've got to work towards that because if the shoes was on the other feet, would you be just wanting to pay somebody that ain't doing their job for
Absolutely not.
just to be there,
I've
just to
seen
be
it.
a body? No.
Listen, my daughter's sitter to this day, I swear to God, right? She has been so comfortable with making, you hear me? She's got comfortable making only 17 bucks an hour, man. And she's been at the job, man, over 35 years. Okay. 35 years. That's a lot of time, you guys, and she complains about the raises and all that stuff. And I asked the golden question, well, why are you still there? Well, because I've been there so long and all this. And let me tell you, this is what it boils down to, right? In general, women in general, right, cannot adapt to change as quickly as the average man can. Okay. All right. If there's a corporation that's going to take over this company, then they're going to let us know it. We're going to be pissed off about it, but hey, we have to adapt to the situation. Okay.
Right.
We dealt with it in the construction field many a times, man. I'm doing wiring, I'm running pipe or whatever. Hey, man, you're not going to be over here.
I got to go down in that trench and guess what else we have to face? Because it's getting hot out here. And I don't know how I did this stream tonight, but I am running on fumes. I'm telling you, I was out there. It was 90 degrees, hot, hazy, and humid. And, with gas, I got to walk back and forth.
411, there's something called Ivy in a bottle. I give it to the men that do construction out here because, like, I'll see them. It's like it's got a lot of electrolytes in it. An actual male doctor made it, so it's made by a man. All right, so like it's Ivy in a bottle. It's got twice as much electrolytes as the Gatorade. Like it has the sodium you need because you're going to be burning a lot if you're going to be out in the heat. So look up that drink. It costs a couple dollars, but it'll keep you from falling out because this heat's going to be bad this year. So if you need some hydration, look up that Ivy in a bottle.
But see, we can handle it. I mean, I'm gonna handle, but it is going to be because the weather here. It's been like
90, man. It's been like 90 degrees back to back here in Missouri. I'm like right down the way from you, 411. I'm like a couple states over, man. And yeah, it's not no joke, man.
Does it get humid?
Yeah, make sure y'all stay hydrated because like if you get dehydrated in this heat, it's gonna start affecting your kidneys and everything. Like that's what I found is the hardest on men working out in this heat is that y'all need to stay hydrated, because
Yeah,
don't eat nothing heavy neither, because it's gonna make you drag. Eat something light. Make sure y'all stay hydrated,
shout,
because like you only have one body, man.
that's it. Shout out to Lawrence. It's 56 there. Shout out to Melly Mel. But at the end of the day, yeah, we got to go out there and we got to do it.
Yeah,
It's
y'all got to keep this country going, man. Like
oh
people
man,
need to learn to appreciate the little guys, like the
man,
construction workers, the electricians. I wouldn't want to be an electrician. I have tried to do that, and that stuff bites. Y'all be
We
careful
try
mess with that voltage.
we
You'll
we
see
try
Jesus.
our best. We tried for years. We tried for years to invite women out there in the fields with us, right? And it goes the same thing. They
They
complain,
can't
complain,
hang.
complain about the pay, but they won't go out there and do the things with us, right? Or the same thing like us, right? We welcome them, man. Listen, I have bosses at work that told me personally that we were at United Missouri Bank. UMB Bank, and the women are complain, dang, I bet y'all get paid more money than us and everything. And I say, man, look, there's a big old boiler downstairs, and that thing is about 1,200 degrees, man. Would you like to mess with that thing? I mean, there's a chiller room in there, right? High pressure chiller, right? With some
Oh,
refrigerant in there. The refrigerant in there is like -3. It was like -300 degrees or something. Like, do you want to deal with that stuff or whatever? No, I mean, come on. I mean, if you're more than welcome to deal with it, or whatever.
yeah.
Just and then they look at it, what in the world? I mean, this is stuff that we deal with or whatever. And and we just it's not like we get paid. To me, we don't always get paid a lot, man. For what we do, but what we just do is just sit back, shut up, do our job or whatever, and then until another opportunity comes by, then hey, we just got to go ahead and go with the flow. If we find another opportunity that pays more, then we're going to go out there and take advantage of it. Otherwise, if we're comfortable where we're at, we're comfortable where we're at. This is just how men roll.
yep.
Yeah, like with my uncle, he was a handyman, right? So like when I was young, he would teach me things, and I mean, not until you see an actual man and how hard he works, and you see what y'all actually do you really start to respect the man's job, like what he actually do. I think that there isn't enough appreciation for things like that. People think that things are just instantly done, but it's a process, and there's a lot of men that are behind this process. Like I enjoy seeing a man build something, right? And then just seeing him sit there and look at it like, yeah, I did that. Because I got a friend, he does all kind of remodeling work, and sometimes he'll take me to see what he's been doing, and just to see a man light up like, I did that. Like that is beautiful. Like the way he just lights up, like he's like, the good thing about building things is you can come back and 10 years from now and you could roll up, and if it's still there, you're like, yeah, I did a good job. But my uncle told me the best way to build stuff is do it right the first time, so you don't have to come back. So like if y'all get a porch done and they don't use screws, they plan on coming back to fix your porch again. So when you get a patio or something done on your house, make sure that you get those wood screws, buy them for them to put in your patio. Because if they use the penny nails, they plan coming on back. Like they're setting
Right.
you up. So make sure if you're going to do a patio or something, buy the screws for them so you know they used them. But that's a little trick I found out with those patios. But yeah,
So
I think we need to appreciate men more. I don't think men are appreciated enough. There's
I,
a lot of stuff that y'all do
I
that
think the blue
goes
collar. I think the
unspoke
blue
about.
collar men, Alice, aren't appreciated.
No, they're not.
I think because even the corporate guys, they crap on the blue collar guys too, and a lot of the people that I've seen in the corporate world, most of them are kiss asses and wimps anyway. They're not going to get out there.
They got that brown nose syndrome.
Hey,
411.
411. That I was just about to touch bases on. Can you tell and give Alice an example of why there are some guys in the manosphere, right, that are straight up bitches? You know, they're straight up white knight cucks. I mean, can you kind of, you know, I know we're talking about the blue collar and white collar, but can you give her the actual sample, you know, from your personal point of view, you know, of what these guys doing this here in this manosphere, you know, and they do a lot of really bitch shit. They really do, man. It's really
It's called sipping. It's called sipping now.
Well,
that's the new word for it.
Well, you know,
now, we old school, man. The new word, they're starting to call everything stepping now, man.
Yeah,
you know, the real name is called,
like,
man, we call it being a beta bitch.
Sipping is when you kissing women's ass. Y'all don't need to kiss women's
Yeah,
ass.
We call it beta. We call it being a beta bitch.
But a lot of these guys, though, a lot of these guys, in my humble opinion, they really haven't grown up. So what it is, they have bad lives. So they come on to YouTube to make themselves feel good, and they get some power. I call it illusional power by having an opinion. At the end of the day, this is why I told you all, be careful who you bring up on your panel, on your channel, because they don't care about your channel. They will mess up your channel, and that's why, you know, me, I'm gonna start doing some more content, bringing out that stuff that told me Gene. I just brought out some more stuff. I'm gonna be bringing out some more as I get it, and I'm gonna be doing some more content on it because here on my channel, I'm not gonna follow everybody else, do what's trending. That's why I didn't do the KS stuff, because it was trending. I mean, I'm gonna be like this. Man's gone, okay. RIP. You got to keep going. I respect it. I respect him, respect what he brought to the table. But what we have to do, we got to take our message and continue to carry it on. And we got to be ourselves.
Thank you.
Who he was. And that's the difference. I can't be anybody else.
Yeah, because y'all are the leaders of there's young men still being born. And I think people forget that, like, the young men need upstanding men to look towards. And it's like a lot of people don't realize what you do does matter. How you do things does matter. And you don't know. You might affect someone that might be in a bad spot. Them actually hearing you talk about certain things might bring them out of hole. People are going through things every day in their life. And it's like, even when 411, yeah, I'm a single mom, but it's like this. When 411 is talking about single moms and stuff, I don't think people know how to detach and understand that the criticism is needed on these single mothers, especially if they're not doing what they're supposed to. Anytime that somebody is like acting a certain way or doing certain things, yes, we need to be able to look at it and say, yeah, that is wrong. This needs to be fixed. And I think people are so set in their ways that they can't accept the criticism and see why the criticism is needed. Like, I've heard Teapot talk about certain things like these old mamas. And the way he says that, he says, these old mamas. And I'm like the way he talks about stuff, like, it is important we point out the bad behavior, and people need to get out their feelings in it and realize that if we don't point it out, it's not going to ever change.
Yeah.
We have to know what is good and what is bad, and everybody just wants to get in their feelings. That's the problem with women. We need to, as women, I have noticed this with a lot of women, they get in their emotions. I have caught myself in my emotions, then I have to process. That's why process is needed. We have to, even men have to process. I think that the self-reflection is more important than ever, because if we don't ever step outside ourselves and we stay inside ourselves, we don't open the door to other people and other opinions. If 411 does like it's like a diverse thought that I've seen. Like him with all the different people he has come to his channel, it's like diverse of thinking is
Yes.
what I'm seeing with 411. And 411 is real easy to talk to. Like he reminds me of the guy at the store. He comes up there every day. He gets his coffee. His name's Red. He's pretty cool, man. Like, yeah, I like coming to 411 because he gives a real logical standpoint. He's not over zealous. He doesn't scream at you. That makes it easier to talk
Well, I'm
to a
not right.
person.
I'm not right all the time. Let me get to the chat here. New guy, shout out to Jonathan Neal. Going back to the energy drinks. Excuse me, the energy drinks on point. I won't lie. Takes a toll on a heart over time. J Dog says he stopped drinking energy drinks, and J Dog again. His cousin-in-law was less than 25, had heart abnormality after drinking them. Wow. So
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, because a lot of these young men that I have noticed, like they work at the plant, a lot of them be buying them energy drinks. And I'm like, if you just eat right and sleep and stop stressing so much, because a lot of men like that's what I noticed. They were talking about the mental health and stuff, like how much men keep stuff in. That's why these men spots are good for men to talk to one another, because I don't think men, y'all closed up too much. And when you close up too much and you're balling it up, I think that's causing a lot of the heart problems in men, because men are, that's one of the number one things with men is the heart problems. And the energy drinks are making it worse.
Right. Well, I'm at 3 hours and 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get ready to shut this down because I got to
Well, it
get
was
up.
nice meeting you, man, Daily. I like to see the joy in your face, man. You too,
Thank
fool.
you. Yeah, thank you, Miss Alice.
Yeah,
I
awesome,
appreciate it.
man.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Gigi. By the way, you can just call me Mr. Gigi, but the name of my
GG.
channel is called, yeah, Mr. Gigi. And the name of my
Mr.
channel is
GG.
called Men's Daily Advice and Encouragement Channel. So, but thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you. I like the fact you read the definitions, so then some of the women out there can understand the definition of submission. Kevin Samuels did read the definition of feminism too, and a lot of them got it in their brain too. Feminism means just woman. No, feminism does not mean
No.
it's just woman. No. I mean, if you want to read that definition, that's fine too. But at the
Well,
same
they've
time, I
changed
appreciate.
it. They've
Yeah,
changed it quite a few times. The only thing I can think when I think about feminists is the ego-led woman, because she can't talk or take direction from a man. She wants to lead a man. That's what
like
I found a feminist is.
He's
I tell them
extremely
straight up,
selfish.
right? The feminism here, right? You're right. The definition and what the women actually show you is totally different than over in the Philippines. Because if you go to one channel, her name is called the Filipina P. She has a beautiful channel, and she actually exposes not only the red pill, but she also talked about, right, the difference between feminists and feminism in her country. And she deep dives 100%. She said, basically, I'm a feminist, right? I want women to work. I want women to go to school, whatever. But you're not seeing me going over here saying that I'm better than a man, or a man is under me, right? Or a man should be able to pay all of my bills and all this. Like, go. I don't want to ruin it, but go to the Filipina Peace channel, type it in, and then you're gonna scroll down, look for it. She's gonna talk about the definition of feminism, and then she's gonna talk about why Western men are starting to stop dating women over in the West, the United States and Canada, and they're starting to go over to like Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Africa. There's South America. It's real. The passport is for real. Brothers is tired, man. And until these women actually change their behavior, until the laws also have a big change as far as marriage and child support, man, and a divorce, man, or whatever, guys got this little book and they realize that they got better options out there. And the women don't operate and think like out here in North America, United States, or the United Kingdom and Canada. I mean, it's just how it
Well,
is, man.
Well, the women, I think we're in the fifth wave of feminism here, and what it is these women want to infringe on other, like infringe on the men's rights. That's what
Yep.
I have been seeing, and that's the big problem.
Yep.
Yeah, women can help and do things, but there has to be a line, and we shouldn't be crossing it. We shouldn't be, as women, trying to overbear men
I
and take things from men. But if you are going to look for a woman, find one that has your value system, that is like minded, and will listen. Not hear you, but listen. You can find a woman all over the world, but if she will not listen to you, she does not have your values, and she doesn't respect you, then you're wasting your time. So do it on an individual basis. Look at the woman. Does she fit what you want as a man? Is she going to follow you and let you lead her? Don't have a woman that's going to lead you. You're the man. Say no, sit down. Like that's what I had to learn, like, to be able to let a man tell me, hey, I'm going to fix this car. You sit down, because I've had to do stuff myself because I'm self-efficient. But
yeah.
being able to just sit down and let the man do it, that is hard for a lot of women. So yeah, if you're gonna look for a woman, find one that fits you, because that's what
And
it's
that's why
about.
we say, and that's why we prefer women overseas, because a lot of them are traditional, man. You don't see them out there. Well, I can do it. You don't have to do this, and I'm independent. I don't need no man. I've heard beautiful Brazilian women, man. I've met these women. They'll tell us, right? Go watch this movie. It's called Frustrated. You guys will see this. Frustrated. It's a documentary by Al Grease, and beautiful Brazilian women will tell you, I love being a woman. I love cooking for my man. I love cleaning for him. I actually love
Yeah.
doing whatever he tells me, whatever he instructs me. It makes me feel better as a woman to do the things that makes him happy. And if I do the things that make him happy, that's also making me happy, you know? And this is just how a lot of them actually operate out there. I see a lot of women, every time we talk about a passport, they got something negative. Well, you don't want to run into a woman that's going to use you. Or you don't want to run into another woman that's going to use you for your passport and use you for this, and she could be
Don't
trying to
listen
get
to
it
that
to.
woman.
There's
That woman's
always
trying to tell you
there's
what to
always
do.
there's always negative. They are threatened. I'm telling you, man. Listen, our group we got thousands and thousands of brothers in our groups, man, on Facebook, man. And all they tell us is nothing but positive testimonials. Are there some negative? Yeah, there's like maybe 1% here and there, but that's nothing compared to like thousands of guys looking at North America different. They're happy, genuinely happy.
Well, that's
All
why
right.
I agreed with the SYBM movement, because, like, everybody wants to do this group thing, and it shouldn't be a group. A man needs to find his place and do what he needs to do, because every
Thank you.
man has a purpose. And if we get in this group identity thing, yes, men coming together saying SYBM or MGTOW, yeah, that's a title. But at the end of the day, that man is his own man. And that's what I think is important. When I seen the SYBM movement, I seen it said "Save Yourself, Black Man." I was like, okay, they get it. It's about being an individual man. Okay, I can dig it. I can dig it, because I'm more on individual. I think that's what we've got away from, and that's why
Yeah.
the accountability with women isn't there. Is because they're trying to group themselves, and they need to look at themselves as an individual woman.
Yeah.
Yes, you're an individual woman, but you also have to be individually accountable. That's what, if you're going to be an individual, you got to be accountable for everything, rights and wrongs, and be
The
able
women
to
who
take the
actually
criticism.
the women who are going for the Pookies, the Ray Rays, the Tyrones and Chads, right, or whatever, they're gonna, we came up with a philosophy called the cleanup man. After these guys that they dated and they chose over the good guy, the nice guy, right? And they dated these guys, they got multiple kids with the guys, and then they turn around and want the good man, right? The righteous man to actually marry and have kids with them, and clean up their life. We call them the cleanup man. They're going to find out. I give it 20 years. Within 20 years, they're going to start slowly finding out Brothers is leaving. Brothers is disappearing. Brothers is going overseas. Brothers, we got engineers. We got brothers who in the HVAC field. Brothers who's electrical, gas, man. You know, for real. There's brothers out there in the real estate and oil field out there, man. They make their money here in the United States, right? We tell them, make your money here, right? Make sure it starts coming in every week, every month, whatever it may be, right? Forever, for the rest of your life. But while you're doing that, start traveling and then go find you a place to permanently live, because it's saturated here, man. Dude, women got way more options with guys. Way more options. It's just how it is or whatever, right? As long as they got access to the internet and those electronic devices, they will always have an advantage. And you guys in the chat out there, hope you guys listen, especially you guys who's married out there, right? Don't be sitting up there thinking, well, my woman would never do nothing like that, or she's not that. You are not around that woman 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As a red pill person, you need to keep in your mind that she has the possibility and the ability to do whenever and however, and you don't have to know anything about it. That's just how it works.
Yeah, I think like when I finally do settle down, I will be just walking away from social media, because it does cause a lot of problems in relationships.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that I think that can cause problems with the men and women. I think we put too much faith in this social media. You have to have somebody that can walk away from the phone.
Right.
Like, if it's not business related.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's a big thing, that because that's what I've been waiting on, is like marriage. That's why I've just been like raising my kids, and if I find somebody, that's nice. But that's gonna be like the main thing. When I do finally get married, I will be walking away from social media, because I don't want that distraction. Because it's easy to be distracted, and being able to walk away from it is important. So yeah, the internet is affecting relationships like I have never seen.
All
So
right.
yeah, that'll be my main thing when I do get married, is walking away.
All right. Well, we're at the 3 hour and 30-minute mark. And
He gets passionate. But yeah, thank you for letting me come up 411. It's nice meeting you, Mr. GG. Yeah, that's it.
I'll be up
Y'all
next
have a good day.
same time. Hey, thanks for coming up.
All right, bye.
All right. Brother Gigi, your last words for the night.
Okay, got you. Well, I want to say thank you, Mr. 411. It is a pleasure being back for the third time. I really appreciate that. I'm hoping to, hopefully you can start launching more ammo of more good old, as you call it, good old fashioned content, right? You know, I sit back and I said, man, is this man ever going to launch it? Because I said, well, I guess he has his StreamYards on Wednesday. So I said, I probably got to look forward to that. But when I shot the PayPal, because I know you say you do I think Cash App or whatever, and you know, do a lot of
Cash App is easier, but I'm gonna do more regular content. I like panels, but I like content. My opinion, I like it much better. So I'm gonna be launching more of that, and I got my second channel as well. At the end of the show, I will go ahead and plug them in, but want everybody to check out Alice's channel, Mr. Gigi's channel, and I will be back up here next Wednesday, and I'll have some more news clips to bring up here. And yes,
and we can continue donating to you on PayPal, correct? Because I seen your link; it was like very easy to find on your channel, man, and I really like that.
PayPal or Cash App, and yes, also. Eating fresh apples will give you better energy than coffee or energy drink. Thank you, Latin Patriot, for that information. But yes, brother, I'm gonna do some content, and I will be back up here. And like I said, if you start doing live streams, just be careful for who you have on your panels, and I'll make sure I support your content as well, my brother.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. But yeah, my last words is this. Basically, I tell you guys, man, if you guys are out there, make sure you continue to take your daily red pills out there, man. Get your passport, start traveling the world, get your money together, man. Put yourself first, man. You know, you only got one life to live. We're not Super Mario Brothers where we got a lot of lives on a video game, man. One life. So use it wisely, right? Stay around people who want to see you succeed, man, and people who don't give off bad energy. I always say, man, that bad vibes, man, make bad energy. And I just tell you guys, make sure, right? Take care of yourself. Stay healthy, right? Stay out of trouble, yeah. And for God's sakes, you guys, please, man, make sure you take care of each other. Anyway, it was good to talk to you, Mr. 411, in the chat. But I'll go ahead and I'll step out of the way so you can do your closing remarks. You have a blessed night, okay?
All right. Thank you for coming up there, brother.
No problem, buddy.
All right. We had another good show tonight right here on the 401 Talk Zone radio show. And before I conclude, let's get the final poll in. The question is, are energy drinks good for you? Out of 34 votes, I had 100% no, yes, 0. So the answer when it comes to energy drinks is take drinks or even eating in moderation. And before you pick up one of these, make sure you read the label. These things are not to be taken lightly. Mix them with water. But in the end, I'm just going to say this. You live one time. Make sure you preserve your life. I know God is going to call our number one day. But while you're here, you enjoy life. I know there's some times where things are going to happen to people. That's just reality. But when it comes to you as a person, you're responsible for you. So if you see something out there, stay away from it. Because when it comes to trouble, just like you saw in some of those clips that I showed you tonight, trouble can find you. Avoid trouble at all costs. If you're in your car driving, don't be reactionary. Be proactive. Use your head. Use common sense. And when it comes to feminism, selfishness, delusional people, schizophrenia, stay away from people like that as well. Because in the end, you will free yourself up from a lot of stress. But in the end, you have one life to live. Make sure you enjoy your life. Because it's about individuality. Be free with your mind, body, and soul. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for more educational content, check out the QCIS channel. On that channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Some of the subjects that I talk about: industrial engineering, entomology, horticulture, and calculus. Now, if you cannot find the 401 Talk Zone radio show or the QCIS channel on YouTube, you can check both of those channels out on Twitter. And with the QCIS channel, I take it one step further, since it's an educational and a professional channel. You can find me on LinkedIn, because in the end, be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals who can't take strong content, or you get easily offended, well, if it's not about you, you don't have anything to worry about. So I'm going to tell you this. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. Next week, I'll be doing some more of those new clips at the same time, same bat channel. Once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.